Live broadcast of Naruto begins with a movie The Death of Naruto. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 551. Although Sarada was a little speechless about JoJo's inexplicable idea, she stopped trying to shake her off when she saw Naruto and Shikamaru had already arrived at the village gate. JoJo followed her line of sight and muttered curiously, "Isn't that the 7th Hokage? He's going out too. It's time. Say sorry to Boruto for me," Naruto said to Shikamaru without a clear reason, and then set off towards the location given by Sasuke. Sarada was about to follow him, but was tripped by JoJo, and suddenly she could not see Naruto anymore. Just when Sarada was disappointed, Boruto and Mitsuki came over. Shikamaru noticed the lunchbox in Boruto's hand, and combined with what Naruto said just now, he immediately understood. No wonder he asked me to apologize to you on his behalf. You are a step late. Two girls hid behind the tree, and Naruto and Shikamaru didn't notice it. This is not the point. The problem should be that two ninja school students who haven't graduated yet can walk out of the gate of Konoha so freely. It's a bit unbelievable. How peaceful the environment must be to allow two girls who are not even Jinan to travel together. The future, decades later, can we live like this? Hearing this, Boruto immediately put on a sour face and called Mitsuki to go back together. Sarada immediately realized that this was an opportunity, so she took the initiative to volunteer to help Boruto deliver the lunchbox. However, Boruto, who was angry, did not intend to appreciate it. After saying a few angry words, he turned around and wanted to leave. Seeing this, Sarada directly pressed his shoulder and said seriously, "I told you, I will help you deliver it. Didn't I also tell you not to?" Boruto pushed away Sarada's hand. JoJo, who was standing beside him, ignored the two people who were at loggerheads and stared at the lunchbox in Boruto's hand, saying that she would help him eat it. Mitsuki couldn't bear it and pulled JoJo away from the two. "Are you going to confess to me?" JoJo, who was pulled away by Mitsuki, looked disgusted. Mitsuki replied helplessly, "Your symptoms have worsened again." Boruto's rejection was fully revealed. Seeing this, Sarada advised him seriously, "If there is someone who can deliver it clearly, don't hesitate. If possible, I also want to have someone who can deliver it clearly. And bento is not just for eating, especially when you know that it is made by someone who is very important to you." The inexplicable truth made Boruto's face wrinkled, but in the final analysis, this was just a small matter. Under Shikamaru's instructions, Boruto reluctantly handed over the bento. Sarada also learned Naruto's destination from Shikamaru, and then happily called JoJo to set off. "He seems to be interested in me, please forgive me." Amid JoJo's complaints, the two girls embarked on a journey to find their father. "Ha ha ha, this little fat girl feels so good about herself. I feel like this is the biggest fun in today's story." "What do you mean by feeling good about yourself? This is called girlishness. You know nothing. And don't call her little fat girl. That's called slightly fat." Boruto must be confused. Isn't it just a matter of delivering a lunchbox? Why is it necessary to talk about these big truths? The little girl was just emotional and moved by the scene. After all, she is going to meet her father whom she has never met. Just as the two girls set out on their journey, a white alien monster the size of two palms ambushed in the bushes beside the road they passed. The little monster had a crooked nose and a slanted mouth. The figures of the two girls were reflected in its single eye with a Sharingan pattern. This scene was transmitted to the eyes of the white-haired boy who had attacked Sasuke before and the black-robed man who was talking to him in some way. After confirming the target, the black-robed man immediately ordered the white-haired boy to bring Sarada back. At this time, Sarada was chasing Naruto with Butterfly. Naruto, who had activated the Sage mode, sensed that someone was approaching from behind and directly returned to the original path to actively meet the other party. "Hey! What the hell? It's so ugly, but it actually has Sharingan. This thing is definitely an experimental product. No one would say that this thing is also Uchiha. In this case, the identity of the white-haired boy is questionable. After all, even this unknown thing has Sharingan on it. It would be even easier to replace a pair of Sharingan on a person." The exhausted Butterfly fell to the ground. Sarada had no choice but to stop and cheer her up. It happened that the white-haired boy fell from the tree and blocked the two of them. Looking at the lifeless Sharingan, Sarada's face changed slightly and asked in a deep voice, "Those eyes, who is it?" "Uchiha Shin." The white-haired boy said in a flat voice. Sarada looked incredulous. "There are only me and my father left in the Uchiha clan." Uchiha Shin did not respond. He asked Sarada to follow him. However, no one would agree to such a request. So she saw Uchiha Shin unfold a scroll and took out a huge shuriken tied with a chain. "Father said that I should take you there. This cannot be disobeyed. Just kidnap you." Hearing this, I don't know what little drama was played in Didi's mind. Her expression suddenly became a little shy. "Hey, what do you want to do by kidnapping me?" Without any nonsense, Uchiha Shin threw the shuriken. Sarada dodged it quickly and threw a kunai in counterattack. Although it was blocked by the chain in Uchiha Shin's hand, Sarada took the opportunity to step on the chain to restrict the opponent's movement. Didi. Sarada called out, and Didi came behind Uchiha Shin in tacit cooperation. The giant right hand slapped down heavily and shattered the ground. However, Uchiha Shin's reaction was not slow. Not only did he jump high to avoid the attack, he also tied Didi's arm with a chain, and then fell from the sky and stabbed the kunai in his hand. Ha! The little fat girl's inner drama is really rich. You know what? Although the two girls haven't graduated yet, they are quite skilled. Compared with the opponent, it's not good enough. After all, everyone knows how much the 3 Magatama Sharingan adds to the battle. Sasuke used it to beat back the half-tailed beast Naruto, not to mention 2 slightly powerful ninja school students. The attack was launched, but Uchiha Shin didn't feel the hit. At this time, Naruto's voice sounded, "Although it's a fight between children, isn't it a bit too much?" Chapter 552. Naruto protected Sarada and Jojo under his body, his cape fluttering as he said majestically, "I always thought the children in our village were well educated." Uchiha Shin slowly stood up. Naruto noticed the Sharingan in his eyes, raised his chin slightly and said calmly, "Sharingan. So that's it, it's you. I'm sorry, I want you to come with me, because I have a lot to ask you." Uchiha Shin, who had always been expressionless, suddenly frowned, his eyes widened, and the 3 Magatama in his eyes instantly merged together. Seeing this change, Naruto's expression became a little more serious. "I see, he even has the main Gekyo Sharingan. In that case, even for a kid like you, I have to be a little more serious. Wow. Naruto is so handsome. Tisk, I feel the charm of a mature man. Forgive me for saying you are a middle-aged uncle with a worrying hairline." This guy has always liked to appear at critical moments since he was a child, and he is still the same when he grows up. Just tell him if he is handsome or not. Hiss. It's the main Gekyo Sharingan. How old is this brat? Itachi Uchiha seemed to be 13 when he had the main Gekyo. This boy looks younger than him. Will it be another example of the 4th Mizukage? Born with a baby face. Although it's the main Gekyo, Naruto doesn't take it seriously at all. So cool. Ha! I didn't expect to hear Naruto call someone a brat one day, and it doesn't feel out of place at all. Uchiha Shin's main Gekyo is activated, and the boy who attacked Sarada before has seen the giant shuriken instantly separated, and nearly 10 blades attacked the 3 people from behind. However, this attack was easily parried by Naruto, who entered the Nine Tails mode. At the same time, the voice of the Nine Tails sounded in Naruto's mind. "Naruto, do you want to have a long-awaited full-strength battle?" "Just a little bit." Naruto smiled slightly, and in the shocked eyes of the 2 girls, he shot out a chakra arm towards Uchiha Shin. Seeing that the enemy had no power to fight back in Naruto's hands, Dai immediately turned into a little fangirl and looked at Naruto with admiration. "Is the 7th Hokage so powerful? Super handsome." Uchiha Shin dodged and landed on the Tolregi next to him. At this time, the little monster with Sharingan came to his side and looked at Naruto with serious eyes. "This is the strongest ninja of the contemporary era, the power of the 9 tails of the 7th Hokage. Shin, let's retreat for the time being. You can't deal with him alone." After saying that, the space suddenly distorted with the little monster's Sharingan as the center. After the distortion calmed down, Uchiha Shin and the little monster disappeared at the same time. Naruto immediately showed a serious expression when he saw this. "You even know time and space ninjutsu? A long-awaited all-out battle. It seems that peace has been maintained for quite a long time." Tisk, I don't know why, even though the opponent is a main Gekyo Sharingan, I actually feel that Naruto is bullying me. No matter how strong a main Gekyo is, it is just a kind of power. It depends on how the person who controls it uses it. In comparison, Naruto can control the power in his body as if it were his own arm, so naturally, the difference in their strengths is huge. Listen to how he describes it. The strongest ninja of the contemporary era, although it's not surprising, but I still feel a lot of emotion when I hear this, the strongest in the ninja world. How does he compare to Sasuke? Huh, that's a bit of a stab. Wow. They even have space-time ninjutsu. In such a short time, the power displayed by this mysterious force is incredible. Hey, doesn't the way this space-time ninjutsu is performed look a bit similar to Fei's space-time ninjutsu? Could that black-robed man be a Fei? But that doesn't make sense. When did a Fei become a fan of Itachi? A Fei frowned as he looked at Shyamamu. Could the little monster's Sharingan be his eyes? Naruto cancelled the Nine Tails mode. Before he could figure out the situation, Didi suddenly asked excitedly, "Excuse me. Is the seventh Hokage my real father?" Huh? Why did you say that out of nowhere? Naruto was puzzled and let Didi hold his hand and put it on her head. Something is wrong. Naruto was confused, but Didi changed the subject and said with a chill on her face, "By the way, who is that person just now? I wanted to travel until I found my father, but now a girl like me is being targeted by someone. What should I do?" No, it should be Sarada who is being targeted. Naruto broke the fantasy of Didi. Hearing this, Sarada was a little scared. Who is that guy? Why is he targeting me? Perceiving the girl's emotions, Naruto raised his hand and put it on Sarada's head, comforting her. "Don't worry about anything, I will protect you and solve this matter." Facing Naruto's bright smile, Sarada was a little shy, but her heart calmed down instantly. Ha, fighting doesn't matter, I just want to see Didi looking for her father. Naruto, I'm speechless. There are people who recognize their father on the spot. Fortunately, Didi still has a bottom line. She knows that the handsome guy is not the father, and she has to touch his head to confirm. Suddenly I feel that Naruto is really annoying. Even the usually good-tempered Choji was unhappy at this time. You already have 2 children so old, but you are still thinking about other people's daughters. Who knew that Naruto would become so popular in the future? Obviously, girls hated him at school. Ino said with a smile. For her, who was only 13 years old, these things happened not long ago. Well, Naruto. Although I don't want to say it, but at this age, don't flirt with young girls casually, it has a bad influence. Tisk, damn it. The children are so old, can they still make little girls shy and blush? Naruto, do I need to remind you that this is the daughter of someone you once liked? Bah. What are you thinking about with dirty hearts? This is obviously just a feeling of affection for the elders. What are you thinking about? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 553. Sakura's face darkened immediately. Although she hadn't figured out whether Sarada was her daughter, she couldn't help but get angry when she saw Sarada showing that shy expression to Naruto. Sasuke clenched his hands under the table. He almost punched out just now. Although Sasuke repeatedly warned himself not to put himself in the situation on the sky, he still felt very unhappy. But Naruto didn't realize it at all, because he didn't think there was anything wrong with his behavior on the sky from beginning to end. Okay, I can't let you two go back to the village like this. You should come with me. This is the safest way. By the way, Sarada can also meet your father. Naruto made new arrangements. Although Didi was a little dissatisfied with this, she still asked curiously, what kind of person is Sarada's father? I have never met him once. Rather than asking me to tell you, why don't you let Sarada tell you? I don't know. Facing the gazes of the two, Sarada looked lonely. I have no impression of him at all. Oh, that guy has been running around outside. Naruto's expression moved slightly. Just as he said that he would tell the story, Didi suddenly said that she was hungry. Sarada then remembered the lunchbox in her hand and handed it to Naruto. Looking at the lunchbox handed over, Naruto looked nostalgic, remembering the lunchbox that Sasuke and Sakura handed to him on the day of the graduation test. After thanking him, he smiled and took it. What's going on? Why does Naruto seem to know nothing about Sasuke? No, he knows Sasuke is always on the road, he just didn't think of Sarada's situation for the moment. Tisk, compared to Naruto as a teammate, Sarada as a daughter has less memories of Sasuke and Sakura than Naruto. Isn't this ironic? The three of them found a patch of grass to rest for a while, and after filling their stomachs, Sarada was a little embarrassed, but she brought up the topic of her father again with expectation. Naruto did not shirk responsibility and smiled as he told this story. When we were little, all the girls in school liked him, just like me, and he was quite handsome, just like me, and he always ranked first in ninjutsu, just like me. There's only one first place, right? Is that true? Didi could not help but complained. Naruto did not answer, and suddenly showed a disgusted expression on his face. But that guy is cold, self-righteous, and has a sharp tongue, which is completely different from me. Sarada, who was smiling, suddenly turned black. At this time, Naruto covered up the disgust on his face and said with a smile, "In short, he is my opponent. This it hasn't changed until now." Ha ha ha. You are a Hokage and a father now, can you not be so childish, Naruto? Although Shianmu didn't appear much, everyone knows what you were like in school from various bits and pieces, so don't flatter yourself, Naruto. Oh. Don't take it so seriously, I was just showing off in front of a child, don't you think it's fun? Haha, what a bad fate, decades later you still regard Sasuke as your rival, these two will be entangled for the rest of their lives. Sasuke looked at Naruto with contempt and sneered, "Follow me same." Hearing this, Naruto felt ashamed and unhappy. He gritted his teeth and turned his head away from Sasuke's contemptuous eyes. He muttered in his heart, "What's so great about it? You were good when you were young, but I will definitely be better than you when I grow up." Sarada, seeing you just now reminded me of Sasuke and Sakura when they were young. Although Sasuke didn't wear glasses, you look very similar to him, especially his eyes. You should look even more similar after your Sharingan opens. Naruto looked nostalgic at first, and then showed a bright smile, but some of your temperament is very similar to Sakura, especially when you are angry, it should be quite scary. Jojo, you look a lot like Karu, but your body shape is exactly the same as that of young Shaji. Seeing Naruto turn around and talk to Jojo, Sarada smiled brightly. When I'm with the 7th Hokage, I always feel very safe. Well, saying that Sarada and Sakura have similar temperaments is just a disguised way of saying that she and Sakura have no other similarities. That's why everyone questions their mother-daughter relationship. Look at Shikamaru and his son. Would anyone think they are not biological father and son? Jojo is the same. You can tell at a glance. Only she herself thinks that her relationship with her parents is not like that. The three continued to move forward. Although the journey was delayed because of Butterfly, the three soon arrived near the destination. Because they were not in a hurry, Naruto did not refuse Butterfly's suggestion to rest, but Sarada was eager to see Sasuke, so she ran towards a tower-like building alone on the pretext of convenience. Soon I can see my father. I can finally see him. Dad. Sarada's eyes were filled with tears, and a Magatama appeared in her red eyes in an instant, and her Sharingan opened. Carefully pushing open the door of the tower, Sarada walked to a small area in the tower illuminated by candlelight. At this time, Sasuke slowly stood up from the shadows behind her and looked at him. Sarada cried, "Dad, you can find this place." Sasuke interrupted Sarada's words coldly, drew out the Kusanagi sword and pointed it at her. "Are you an accomplice of that kid?" He actually opened his Sharingan because he wanted to see his father so much. Tisk tisk, Uchiha Sasuke, look at how much his daughter is looking forward to it, don't you feel guilty? PFFT. It seems that he doesn't feel guilty at all. He can't even recognize his own daughter. It's amazing. You are a father who is worse than nothing. Could it be because the environment is too dim, so Sasuke didn't see clearly? Come on, are his eyes just for show? Would the Uchiha clan, which is famous for its insight, recognize the wrong person because they can't see clearly? If I were Sarada, my mood would collapse immediately. I have been looking forward to meeting her for so long, but she was treated like this. Chapter 554. Jiraiya. Naruto. Itachi. Facing the speechless eyes of the three people, Sasuke was a little embarrassed at this time, and stammered to defend himself. What has it to do with me? This is the problem of the Uchiha Sasuke on the sky. But isn't that you in the future? Naruto said faintly. Hearing this, Sasuke immediately shifted the conflict and pointed at Naruto and said, according to what you said, the you on the sky also knew about it. so you should also bear part of the responsibility. No, you are the Hokage, and the mission of me must be assigned by you, so you should bear most of the responsibility. Hey. If you want me to take the blame, you should be more reliable. After all, it's because you can't recognize your own daughter. Damn. What's going on? This future. In Sarada's horrified eyes, the Kusanagi sword passed through her face and pierced into the wooden pillar behind her. Then, looking at Sasuke's hand reaching out to her, Sarada curled up and closed her eyes and shouted, "Dad, you are." Sasuke paused for a moment, and his tone was a little uncertain. Sarada. Well. Sarada looked aggrieved, and nodded gently with tears in her eyes. Seeing this, Sasuke withdrew his hand with a gloomy face, turned his face away and was silent for a moment. Is that so? I knew you were dead as soon as I saw you. Sarada's voice was full of sadness. Before she could finish, Naruto opened the door and walked in with Dai. At a glance, Sasuke's handsomeness hit Dai's heart. Fortunately, I recognized him at the last minute. Are you sure? Did you react because Sarada called him dad? Tisk, look at Sasuke's guilty expression. He must feel embarrassed that he couldn't even recognize his own daughter. Sorry, Sasuke, I'm a step late. Naruto came over. When Sasuke saw him, he immediately got angry. Naruto. What's going on? Why did you bring the children? As soon as Sasuke complained, he saw Didi naturally grab his hand and put it on her head, with a hesitant expression. He is handsome enough, but he should be a little stronger. What is this for? Like Naruto not long ago, Sasuke was also confused by Didi's actions. At this time, Sarada clenched her fists and shouted, "Dad! I'm here to see Dad. I came here because I knew the 7th Hokage was coming to see Dad. There is something I must ask clearly no matter what." What is it? That? Sarada hesitated, looked at Sasuke and asked cautiously, "My mom, is she my biological mom?" Ha. The best performance today is Jojo, who immediately eased the awkward atmosphere. Sasuke was trying to divert the conflict just now, and cover up his embarrassment by blaming Naruto. You still need to face it with an open mind. Apologize to your daughter. I believe Sarada will forgive you. At the same time, Sakura woke up in the hospital, and after listening to Shizune's story with a face full of self-blame, she took the initiative to ask about a meeting place between Naruto and Sasuke. Back in the tower, Sasuke did not answer Sarada's question, but asked, "What happened?" "You asked me what happened." Sarada looked incredulous, and then asked angrily, "It's because Dad has never been with us. Why don't you live with Mom? You don't even know what your daughter looks like. Is it a big deal?" Sarada took out a photo of the Hawk Squad and placed it in front of Sasuke. "Who is this woman standing next to you who wears glasses like me? Do you think I, as a daughter, can ask my mother such questions? Mom doesn't say anything, Dad is never at home, and neither Dad nor Mom can be trusted. There are too many problems." She finished talking about her troubles in one breath. Sarada panted and asked, "Where has Dad been all this time? What has he been doing?" This has nothing to do with you." Sasuke was totally unexpected to give such an answer. Sarada was so angry that her body trembled. She rushed out of the tower without caring about anything. In this situation, even Dai, who was fascinated by the beauty, couldn't help but point at Sasuke and complain, "This is too inconsiderate. I was wondering if you would be my dad. I can't stand it." Puff. Speechless. Uchiha Sasuke has added his emotional intelligence to his appearance. He can answer like this. "Wow. What a straight man. You have a wife and children because of your face. I don't recognize you. It's not enough to want to kill your daughter, but you can still give such an answer now. It's really amazing. I admire you, Uchiha Sasuke." Sasuke, you. Although covered by the mask, Itachi's entanglement was completely conveyed from his tone. "Be a little more careful in the future. I told you that this has nothing to do with me. Don't you understand? If you care about that girl so much, go and have a child yourself. It's better to tell only Sarada the reason why you don't return to the village." Watching the two girls leave, Naruto said in a low voice, and this sentence also evoked Sasuke's memories of a few years ago, in the Hokage's office. Looking at Sasuke wearing a cloak, Naruto said, "Are you leaving now? Don't you want to go home and take a look first? Kaguya almost destroyed the world, and something that can threaten her existence may have already arrived at this moment. Time is running out," Sasuke explained casually. Hearing this, Naruto looked at the scenery outside the window and sighed. After all, It took such a great sacrifice to exchange for precious peace. Sasuke, how about I come together? As the Hokage, you should protect the village. Only I, who have the Samsara, can find traces of Kaguya. You do what you should do, and I do what I should do. Isn't this the cooperation you expect? After saying that, Sasuke turned and walked towards the door. Remember, treat my mission as confidential information that only the top leaders can know. It's very uncomfortable for a person not to be told anything. At least tell Sarada. Naruto hesitated, but Sasuke had no intention of giving in. Knowing will only make her worry. Aren't you afraid that she will hate you in the future? Even so, I still think the future is more important. What do you think? Chapter 555. What did I hear? Sasuke said is. Rinnegan, haha, why am I not surprised at all? No way. This is the 10th time, hey. As expected of the descendants of the Six-Path Sage, Uchiha Madara, Afei, and now Sasuke, clearly no one had ever heard of the Rinnegan during the heyday of the Uchiha clan, but after the genocide, people who opened the Rinnegan appeared one after another. I don't care how Sasuke opened the Rinnegan. Instead, I'm more interested in how he was still called the most powerful ninja in the ninja world under such circumstances. How strong is Naruto? What's the big deal? Did Naruto defeat Nagato, who had the Samsara, when he was 16? Nagato was obviously not in good condition at that time. Besides, Naruto didn't defeat Nagato in the end, but persuaded Nagato. Let's put aside the discussion of strength and the Samsara. Doesn't anyone care about what Sasuke said about destroying the world? Who is Kaguya? The Kaguya clan? Did that ninja clan disappear in history a long time ago? Besides, even if they still have members of their clan surviving, the bloodline limit of the Shikatsu vein is still unknown. It can't be said that it can destroy the world. Or maybe it just happens to have the same name. Anyway, if Sasuke can describe it as destroying the world, you can tell that it is very unusual. Will it be a new enemy that appeared after the Fourth World War? There have been several beings that claim to be able to destroy the world before, and everyone has seen their end. However, with the strength of Sasuke and Naruto on the sky screen, they can give such an evaluation, so the credibility should be quite high. People who destroy the world, and what else can threaten the existence of such people? It will not be easy to achieve peace in the future. Black Zetsu, who was running around the ninja world looking for Obito's trace, was stunned when he saw the conversation between the two people on the sky screen, and then an indescribable anger surged in his heart. Mom, failed? Lost to these two brats. Exclamation mark. What a joke. Exclamation mark. Mom is the ancestor of chakra. The ninja world is just mom's nursery. All ninjas are played around by me. These two brats. Why do they do that? Exclamation mark. How dare they? Exclamation mark. Black Zetsu roared hysterically, and he was already upset because of Obito's sudden abandonment of the responsibility, and his mood exploded all of a sudden. It's frustrating to think about being resealed after resurrection, but the current situation seems to have become a luxury, and as long as the sky screen exposes the matter about Kaguya, this time limit may be extended indefinitely. How can Black Zetsu, who has been secretly planning for 1,000 years and only wants to rescue Kaguya, be willing to accept it? Calm down, there's a way, there must be a way. Black Zetsu forced himself to calm down. After all, nothing has happened yet, and he still has a chance. Even if it fails this time, as long as he is still alive, there is still hope. Black Zetsu firmly believes in this. After walking out of the tower, Naruto came to Sarada, patted her shoulder and comforted her. Sarada, there is one thing you must believe, your father is a ninja who is more amazing than anyone else. But obviously, Sarada doesn't want to hear this kind of comfort now. Naruto, who thinks he is not good at talking, is a little helpless and doesn't know how to persuade her. At the same time, the mysterious black-robed man who was secretly planning something gave the next instruction to Uchiha Shin, who was half kneeling behind him. For our goal, let's start now. The black-robed man took off his black robe, and he was wearing a uniform of Akatsuki. Not only that, the mysterious man's arms and bald head were embedded with a large number of Sharingan. With this horrifying image, the mysterious man screamed, Akatsuki's resurrection. Yes. Dozens of identical Uchiha Shin appeared on the sky, surrounding the mysterious man and answered in unison. Naruto, has your ability to speak deteriorated after becoming Hokage? Is this what Sarada wants to hear now? Sasuke is an amazing ninja, what does that have to do with him being an irresponsible father? It's really hard for Naruto to intervene in this situation, especially when they decide not to tell Sarada the truth. Huh. This black-robed man is actually from Akatsuki. This is a bit unexpected. I didn't expect that there would still be people acting under the name of Akatsuki decades later. Looking at the sky, Nagato was full of questions. It seems that there is no such person in their organization, right? Is it the successor who inherited Akatsuki's peace concept? Nagato murmured, is it because that future is not good? The peace created by Naruto is also false, so is there someone fighting in secret under the banner of Akatsuki? By the way, this guy is disgusting. How come his arms and head are covered with Sharingan? Where did they come from? I seem to have seen it before, that? Danzo. Yes, Danzo has a whole arm of Sharingan. Didn't Naruto and Kakashi say that they might be Orochimaru's test subjects? Now it seems that this is the case. These white-haired boys who call themselves Uchiha Shin are also test subjects. What kind of inhumane experiment is Orochimaru doing again? Oh, Shin, the cloning technology has developed well. He can actually mass-produce clones with stable Uchiha bloodline. Orochimaru's face was full of admiration, and he was quite jealous of the future science and technology. As for the inhumanity of the development process, he didn't consider it. Ignoring Orochimaru, who was immersed in scientific appreciation, Sujetsu approached Karin and asked in a low voice, isn't the guy on the sky the one in base 2? Yes, that lunatic. It seems that he will be even crazier in the future. Karin was full of disgust and suddenly shuddered, it's so disgusting. In the land of rivers, after seeing the weirdo covered with Sharingan on the sky, Sasuke's eyes instantly turned red, and he said murderously, humph. Another rat who covets Uchiha's power. Orochimaru, that bastard. Itachi also felt repulsive in his heart, but he remained calm on the surface, and even paid more attention to those identical white-haired boys. Will these boys become the future Uchiha? In the tower, Sasuke gently touched the gap in the wooden pillar pierced by Kusanagi's sword. Thinking of Sarada's crying just now, his eyes were full of guilt. Chapter 556. At this time, Didi came over and handed Sasuke a bag of potato chips. I'll give this to you, go and make peace with Sarada, it tastes like soup. Just as he was speechless, Sasuke suddenly looked up with a sharp look in his eyes. He saw the mysterious man in Uchiha Shin on the top of the tower, relying on the space-time ninjutsu of the Sharingan monster. Then, at the call of the mysterious man, the two jumped down from the tower and attacked Naruto and Sarada. The mysterious man first threw a large number of blades from his sleeves, and then under the effect of his right eye's Meijekyo, the blades and himself swooped down at a very fast speed. It is worth mentioning that the mysterious man's Meijekyo and Uchiha Shin's Meijekyo showed the same pattern. Although it was a bit unexpected, Naruto still noticed a moment the opponent launched an attack. He swung his arm and easily knocked away all the blades that attacked him. Then, when he saw that the blades were still controlled by the mysterious man and attacked again, Naruto directly released chakra and transformed into the head of the Nine Tails to protect himself and Sarada. Uchiha Sasuke, you are a dead son dear. You are obviously very self-blaming. Could you be more tactful when you spoke just now? Since you have decided to conceal it to the end, just completely cut off Sarada's thoughts on this. However, it is indeed too much for a father. Ha ha ha. It's still the good girl Dai Dai who has the ability to take action. Sasuke, take a good look at yourself. You are so grown up, but you are not even as good as a little girl. Hey. The Meijekyo of this mysterious man is the same as Uchiha Shin's. So many Uchiha Shin appeared just now. It's not possible that these Sharingans on him must have been dug from them. If that's the case, doesn't it mean that the Sharingan has been mass-produced? What will be the level of science and technology of Orochimaru in the future? He won't really master all the ninjutsu. I want to see what this guy is capable of. He actually dares to take the lead in attacking the strongest in the ninja world. At the same time, Sasuke flashed in front of the mysterious man. With the cover of several blades, the mysterious man took the opportunity to approach Sasuke and stretched out his hand to hold his Kusanagi sword, thus restricting his movement. Uchiha Shin followed closely and launched an attack. Faced with this situation, Sasuke calmly revealed the Samsara eye in his left eye, used the power of the sky to switch his position with Uchiha Shin, and then seized the opportunity to release the Great Fireball technique from behind the two. Just as the fireball was about to hit the mysterious man, The Mangekyo embedded in the back of his head activated some kind of power and unexpectedly controlled Uchiha to fly backwards and block the fireball. At the cost of Uchiha being seriously injured, the mysterious man fell down from the air in a mess, but overall he was not seriously injured. Is this mysterious man's Mangekyo pupil technique to control blades? How should I put it? It's so simple. Others' techniques are all eternal flames, the strongest illusions, space-time ninjutsu, and the attack-defense integrated Susanoo. Why is his technique so inferior? Doesn't that one-eyed creature also know space-time ninjutsu? Overall, it's pretty good. Oh, is this the ability of Sasuke Samsara to swap the position of himself and the enemy? Well, compared to the ability shown by Pine, it feels quite simple, but if used well, it can also play a lot of excellent tactics. Overall, it's okay. Tisk, seeing so many Uchiha, I guess that this guy might use them as cannon fodder and shields, and sure enough. This is to indirectly control Uchiha actions by controlling the weapons in his hands. It seems that to deal with this person, it is best to fight with bare hands better. Sarada, who saw Sasuke's performance, was shocked. Dai, who was also watching, couldn't help but sigh. It would be great if my real father could also use his eyesight to stun women like this. So that's it. Is this your eye power, Uchiha Sasuke? In order to revive Akatsuki, I must get you. The mysterious man struggled to get up from the ground. Hearing this, coupled with his clothes, Naruto asked, "Are you a remnant of Akatsuki?" "My name is Uchiha." The mysterious man said with a ferocious expression, and then very rudely ordered the severely burned teenager Uchiha, "Who told you to rest? Stand up." "Yes, father." Hearing such a conversation, Naruto immediately frowned. Are they father and son? They actually use their own children as meat shields without changing their expressions. Huh. This little fat girl is too shameless. You're nervous, right? He actually thought of this kind of thing. It's a bit difficult for Chaji to reach the level of being able to stun a woman with his eyesight. Originally, Chaji was a little nervous because of the start of the battle, but he couldn't hold it back after hearing what Didi said on the sky. No. How did my future self teach my children? Why can't I understand this train of thought? I'm getting more and more confused about this guy's purpose. What does resurrecting Akatsuki have to do with Sasuke? Why can I resurrect Akatsuki if I get him? Is he attracted to Sasuke Samsara or the power of the Samsara This guy is also called Uchiha, the same name as the white-haired boy. Father-son relationship. It seems not that simple. Compared to Naruto, who is easily emotional, Sasuke is not interested in the relationship between the two enemies. After reminding Naruto to protect the two girls, Sasuke was about to take the initiative to attack. Unexpectedly, Uchiha suddenly launched the Mangekyo technique, causing Sasuke's Kusanagi sword to slip out of his hand and pierce into Naruto's abdomen. What's going on? Sasuke's expression changed slightly, and Uchiha said proudly, "This is my eye power. How about it? It's not worse than yours." Naruto endured the pain and analyzed the enemy's ability to control the weapons based on the previous fight. Sasuke also realized belatedly that the Kusanagi sword was touched by the opponent just now, and it was marked at that time. Wow. Naruto was actually injured by the ability of controlling weapons without any fancy skills. You can control it by just touching it with your hand? It's quite convenient, but the application space is not large. If it was Naruto who made the move just now, this wouldn't be the case now. Chapter 557. No, Naruto, it's nothing. It's just being stabbed. Why is your expression so painful? Being stabbed is a small matter, but it's a big deal if the knife is controlled by the enemy after being stabbed. In this case, just turning the knife is enough to cause quite serious damage. Naruto should be thankful that it was Sasuke's sword that hit him. If it was a small weapon that moved directly inside his body, it would be fatal. At this time, the overflowing Nine-Tails chakra shield suddenly dissipated. Lord Uchiha did not miss this opportunity and controlled the blade that was originally blocked to attack Sarada. Seeing this, Sasuke had no time to think about it and subconsciously protected Sarada with his body. 7 or 8 blades pierced his body to block his movement. Peace will hinder the evolution of mankind, and this is fully demonstrated in you. Controlling a large number of blades pouring out of his sleeves, Lord Uchiha said coldly, "Stop evolving and you will definitely go to extinction. I will take your Sharingan." Saying that, Lord Uchiha was about to launch an attack, but he didn't expect a sudden heavy punch to hit him. Sakura looked fierce and shouted angrily, "Look at what you did to my husband and my precious daughter. Bastard. Hey, no. I can understand that Naruto feels pain, but what about this performance of not being able to muster strength and even not being able to control chakra? Pull out the Kusanagi sword, and the wound will heal in a few seconds." Huh. Uchiha Sasuke is hurt again. What are you doing? There are many ways to protect Sarada, why use your body to block it? Where's Susanoo? Where did your Susanoo go? It's not like what Uchiha Shin said, because the world is too peaceful, so the strength of the two has seriously declined. I don't know whether it has declined or not, but I know that this kind of performance should never appear in the person who is called the strongest in the ninja world. It's embarrassing. I don't know where this character came from. Sakura is still more powerful. In comparison, the two grown men are really lame. Well done. Sakura clenched her fist heavily, and this punch on the sky seemed to beat out all the depression in her heart. Sakura's unexpected punch startled everyone. Looking at the enemy lying in the pit, Sakura asked angrily, "Who are these guys? I was just about to investigate. Why are you here?" Sasuke asked as he pulled out the blades on his body. Sakura came over and asked about Naruto's injuries. After he said that he was fine and would recover soon, she looked at Sasuke with a guilty expression. "Sorry, I was going to explain it to Sarada, but no, from any angle. I am the one who is wrong, you don't need to apologize." Just as the two husbands while talking to his wife, the nine-tailed fox in Naruto's body said sarcastically with dissatisfaction, "You made such an exaggeration of such a small injury. Your fighting consciousness has been dulled. Shame on you. You are really merciless." Naruto calmly drew out the Kusanagi sword, and the wound healed instantly, but it's over. As he spoke, Naruto stretched out his chakra arm to grab the two Uchiha shins, but unexpectedly, the little Sharingan monster came over quietly at this time, and before everyone could react, he launched a space-time ninjutsu, not only taking away the two Uchiha shins, but also Sakura standing next to them disappeared on the spot. Well, I was just about to say that Sasuke's attitude towards Sakura is still as cold as ever, but after Sakura apologized, he took the initiative to say that it was his fault. I really don't understand what he is thinking. This kind of husband and wife atmosphere, I really admire Sakura's happy smile when she mentions Sasuke. Sasuke's personality is like this by nature. It should be difficult for him to get emotional. Oh, there have been a few times when he had disputes with Naruto. Naruto, is he pretending? Look at that calm expression on his face. The painful look just now was indeed pretended. Could it be to create a chance for Sasuke to save Sarada, to ease their father-daughter relationship? It's not easy to be a Hokage. Well, I don't know if Naruto and Sasuke were hid on purpose, but there is no doubt that their fighting instincts have become dull. Can it be more outrageous? Being approached by the one-eyed creature at that distance, they didn't react at all, and just let it take them away. No wonder this Uchiha Shin dared to attack them, he had foreseen their strength beforehand. The power will decline. When Sakura came to her senses, she found herself in a laboratory, with more than a dozen young Uchiha Shin holding weapons pointing at her. Although Sakura was a little nervous, she remained calm. It seems that we have arrived at the enemy's lair. At this time, the adult Uchiha Shin launched the main Gekaioi technique, and actually controlled a blade to attack the severely burned boy Uchiha Shin. After placing him and himself on the operating table, he performed an organ transplant on himself by controlling the surgical equipment out of thin air. Transplant surgery? If the organ is removed, the child will. Sakura saw what he did and looked a little reluctant. On the contrary, the adult Uchiha Shin didn't care at all and said coldly, "It doesn't matter. This is the meaning of their existence. Besides, it is because of you that we have become like this. That's because you want to kill my husband and daughter, and my most important friend." Sakura said angrily when she heard this. Hearing this, Uchiha Shin showed a confused look. "If that's the case, then why are you still worried about my child? Are you serious about what you said?" Sakura gritted her teeth and glared at the other party. Uchiha Shin's medical ninjutsu level is quite good. He can even perform surgery on himself with a main Gekaioi pupil technique. What's going on with this Uchiha Shin and his child? Before, he took the child for granted, and now he wants to transplant the child's organs. This is too cruel. He doesn't take the child's life seriously. Although I know that the future is quite peaceful, Isn't Sakura's sympathy a bit excessive? There is no need to consider so much for the enemy's children. Chapter 558. Maybe, maternal instinct is aroused. Don't confuse the mentality of a girl with that of a mother. There is a big difference. Without answering Sakura's question, Uchiha didn't intend to listen to Sakura's answer, and directly explain the reason. Don't get it wrong, these are just clones I cultivated with my own teeth and nerves. They are just substitutes with the same genetic genes as me. They are my organ bank, that's all. You actually created so many of yourself for this reason. Cloning this kind of thing, you bastard, is no different from Orochimaru. Sakura's face was extremely ugly, but the master Uchiha sneered. You are right, these techniques are what I learned from Orochimaru when I was a test subject. It is he who made me what I am now, and made these clones that appear in front of you now. What is cloning? A scientific experiment, but I heard that the technology level is not high enough, so no one has realized it yet. Does that mean that those white-haired boys and this Uchiha with Sharingan all over his body are the same person? So those Sharingans are really mass-produced? No wonder their abilities are the same. Hiss. There is such technology. What about the other bloodline limits? The Byakugan? The Samsara? Aren't they all ready for mass production? Scary. Orochimaru is the truly scary person. No. Maybe she went to a far place, or escaped into the barrier, and couldn't sense Sakura's chakra. Naruto tried to sense it with the Sage Mode, but after searching in vain, he said with a face full of self-blame, "Damn, they tricked me. Kurama is right, I am so ashamed." Sasuke remained calm throughout. After Naruto mentioned that this might be related to Orochimaru, he responded, "Well, I think so too. After all, that guy has a chakra buried in his left arm. Just like the right arm of Danzo who once fought with me. And that right arm is the masterpiece of Orochimaru. It seems that if we want to find Sakura, we have to go to Orochimaru first." Naruto concluded, and then gave his own suggestion after Sasuke talked about the placement of the two children. Sarada has also become the target of those people. Your father-daughter relationship has been exposed. She is likely to be taken hostage, so it is better for her to act with us. Sasuke accepted the proposal, and after Jojo took the initiative to take out potato chips to ease Sarada's anxiety, the four of them set off towards Orochimaru's snake cave. Danzo's right arm was actually made by Orochimaru. How can I say it? It's a bit unexpected, but it seems reasonable. According to what Uchiha said just now, he seems to no longer be Orochimaru's experimental subject. We shouldn't be able to find Sakura even if we go to Orochimaru. Given Orochimaru's personality, is it possible for the experimental subject to break away from him and gain freedom? I feel a little uncertain. While performing the operation on his own, Lord Uchiha looked at the ugly expression on Sakura's face and even had the extra thought to convey his life philosophy to her. In Lord Uchiha's eyes, as long as the genetic genes can be passed on, there is no real death for living things. The so-called death is just the phenomenon of the disappearance of the container. However, as a mother, Sakura could not accept this unorthodox idea and immediately retorted, "No. The body is definitely not just a simple container, because it also contains thoughts and will. The inheritance between parents and children is not only about genetic genes, but also more important. Sakura has her own insistence, and the adult Uchiha also has her own insistence. Children are formed by mixing half of the genetic genes of each parent. This is just a spontaneous instinctive behavior to create stronger genes. The same is true for war. Through war, better genetic genes are selected and created. This is the evolution of mankind. Through continuous evolution, promote to make human beings more efficient. This cloning technology is part of evolution. Isn't that what ninjas do? In a war where they are forced into a desperate situation, they will quickly develop some new and powerful ninjutsu and techniques, and then select powerful ninjas. In order to promote human evolution, war is indispensable, so I want to revive Akatsuki and inherit Uchiha Itachi's will." Looking at Uchiha with a face full of admiration, Sakura gritted her teeth and said angrily, "You are more of a bastard than Orochimaru. You don't understand what is most important to your parents. I can see that Uchiha is here just to fight with Sasuke and the others. To regard the parent-child relationship as a simple transmission of genetic genes, just based on this concept that is completely contrary to the keywords, this guy's ending can be imagined. Well, let's not talk about whether Uchiha idea is right or not, but he wants to make humans evolve. What does this have to do with Akatsuki? What does it have to do with Itachi? Ha, this idea, Nagato and Itachi have to question it. This is indeed the case. After hearing Uchiha Shin's declaration, Nagato and Itachi both showed a subway old man's question mark face. What the hell is this guy talking about? When did Akatsuki become an organization that promotes human evolution through war? When did I become a pioneer in promoting human evolution? Don't put this hat on my head casually. Naruto and his party came to a plain area covered with mounds and met with Yamato, who was stationed there to monitor Orochimaru. Long time no see, Captain Yamato. Naruto greeted him as usual, but Yamato, who looked old, responded a little uncomfortably, "Don't be like that, I don't want to be called captain by the Hokage. I'm used to it. For me, Captain Yamato will always be my captain." Dai was not very interested in the conversation between the two, and thought very confidently, "This person doesn't seem to be my father." After a simple reminiscence, Yamato, who was on a mission, stayed where he was, while Naruto and his party, led by Sasuke, walked into the snake cave in front of them without any cover. Naruto couldn't help but say, Hey, Sasuke, we are not going to the restaurant you often visit, please be a little alert, okay?" As soon as the voice fell, Sujetsu and Jugo appeared in front of the four people. Chapter 559. Well, after a few decades, Kakashi has hardly changed, but how come Yamato looks so much older? You must have been exploited by Naruto, the Hokage. What a ruthless person. Funny, Jojo is too realistic. Just cross him off the list of dads if he's not handsome. Yamato looked at the sky with a frown on his face. Is it his fault that he's getting old quickly? Is it his fault that he looks ordinary? This future is really boring. Sasuke looks so familiar with the place. Should I say he's a snake expert? Sasuke, it's like going home. Long time no see, Sasuke. This is not the place to take kids hiking. Sujetsu greeted her nonchalantly, and Sarada recognized the two people in front of her as the ones in the photo. Although they were old acquaintances, Sasuke's tone was not polite, and he even asked them to take him to see Orochimaru in a somewhat tough manner. Before they could take any action, Orochimaru came out of the snake cave. "Oh my, I didn't expect you to come here on your own initiative, Sasuke. Hey, how come you are younger than before?" Naruto looked at his young face with a look of doubt, but he didn't expect Orochimaru to respond in a familiar way. "You should know my situation, so there is no need to be surprised by this." After saying that, Orochimaru tilted his head and looked at the two girls behind Naruto curiously. "Oh, who are these two children?" Under the gaze of Orochimaru's face with a bewitching beauty, Didi looked at Sarada with an embarrassed look and asked, "Hey, if this person they are my parents, so which one is it, my father or my mother? Sarada, which one do you think it should be?" My question is the same as Naruto's. This Orochimaru is too young. And what's wrong with his attitude? Why is he so kind? It seems that he has become very familiar with Naruto. I think I know why Yamato can monitor him outside the base. This must be a consensus reached with Konoha. It feels so dreamy. It's decades later, and the Orochimaru who was thought to be dead is getting younger and younger. Tisk. A scourge is a scourge? He's as tough as a cockroach. Tsunade looked at Orochimaru on the sky with disgust. With such a good attitude, he is not planning something bad in secret. Compared to Tsunade's rejection, Jiraiya felt quite relieved. Although he didn't get to see him return to Konoha, he was able to see the relationship between Konoha and Orochimaru ease. For Jiraiya, who had been pursuing Orochimaru, it was already a dreamlike scene. This future is really great. I'm really impressed by Didi. Her train of thought is beyond the reach of ordinary people. This is the biggest surprise today. Compared to the awkward Uchiha girl, the chubby girl from the Akimichi family is more interesting. Without mentioning how Sarada responded to Didi's nonsensical question, Sasuke got straight to the point and said, "There is someone who seems to be your subordinate who wants to kill my daughter and has also captured my wife. If you have any intentions, you'd better spit them out now." Faced with Sasuke's threat, Orochimaru's attitude was abnormally gentle. "Have you noticed any suspicious behavior on my part? Is the surveillance outside just a decoration? So, who is the man who calls himself Uchiha Shin and has buried the Sharingan in his body like Danzo? Where is he?" Sasuke asked. Hearing this, Orochimaru was slightly stunned and led the few people to a room where various experimental equipment were placed. Shin, what a nostalgic name. He was once my experimental subject, but he left me a long time ago. Orochimaru stood in front of a transparent cylindrical vessel, looking at the humanoid embryo inside and said, Danzo's right arm originally belonged to Shin. He has a special physique. No matter what tissue is transplanted, there will be no rejection reaction. He is most suitable for cloning experiments. Tisk tisk, Sasuke is really rude. He actually spoke to Orochimaru in this tone. Just say it, what else can Orochimaru do? If a 16-year-old can kill Orochimaru once, then wouldn't he be able to kill randomly in the next few decades? That may not be the case. After all, Orochimaru's scientific and technological level has improved a lot. Even the Sharingan can be mass-produced. I don't know how much other means have developed. It turned out that the experimental subject was causing trouble himself, and Orochimaru didn't get involved. It's a bit hard to imagine that Orochimaru would actually let the experimental subject leave his command. It's really a bit unexpected, but Orochimaru's temper has also changed a lot. It seems not impossible. Did this guy suffer a major setback? He is so honest and doesn't care about being talked back by Sasuke. I'm curious too. Orochimaru stuck out his tongue and licked the air a few times. Why did I become so good-tempered? It's comparable to those vegetarian monks in the temple. Clone. Naruto naturally didn't understand this professional term, and Orochimaru knew it well. Let me think. Let me use a term that you can easily understand, which is equivalent to a shadow clone that will not disappear. I don't understand what you are talking about. It won't disappear? Then what should I do if I don't need it after completing the mission? Naruto asked, ignoring his serious expression. Orochimaru replied calmly, if you want them to disappear, you can only kill them. Humans are not so simple. Naruto's face looked a little ugly, but Orochimaru seemed to not understand the atmosphere at all, and continued, humans are much simpler than you think. Humans are like slaves of genetic genes. For example, Sasuke, your daughter looks like you because she inherited your genes. Everything is just information recorded in the genes. It's so funny. Orochimaru knows Naruto's IQ very well, and he even used easy-to-understand explanations. This Orochimaru's view of life is exactly the same as Uchiha Shin, who deserves to escape from his command. You can't become an excellent scientist if you don't have extreme thoughts. Orochimaru is like this, Kabuto Yakashi is like this, and Uchiha Shin is like this. These people are really potential troublemakers. I don't have time to talk to you about this. You should know where that guy named Shin is. Sasuke interrupted the conversation between the two and asked in an impolite manner, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 560. You've been asking questions all the time, you've become a lot more shameless. Orochimaru teased, then changed the subject. Well, if Konoha can catch that troublesome Nobu, it will be good for me, and I still owe Naruto a small favor. Orochimaru looked at Naruto meaningfully, then led everyone to another room to look for Uchiha Nobu's information. During the transfer, Sarada found Suigetsu and showed her the photo. After learning that Karin was not on this base, based on what Orochimaru had just said, Sarada came up with another way to prove the relationship between her and Sakura, and asked Suigetsu for help. I can't believe I heard the word owing someone a favor from Orochimaru, and he said it to Naruto. Time is incredible. Anything can happen when the time span is long. Here it comes. It's time to reveal whether Karin is Sarada's mother. There are still people looking forward to this. It's unlikely no matter how you look at it. Sasuke has a cold attitude towards his wife. It's hard to believe that he would cheat and have an illegitimate child. The two came to another laboratory. After listening to Sarada's account of the whole story, Suigetsu said in shock, hey. Is this true? I didn't expect Sasuke to be such a scumbag. Karin actually. I mean it's just a possibility. Sarada subconsciously defended, and then made a serious request, as long as we check the genetic gene, we can know whose child I am, right? Can you help me? I don't care. Mizutsuki felt it was a bit troublesome, but she didn't refuse. She took out a small box from the cabinet. This was a small section of umbilical cord that Karin had repeatedly told her to be like a part of her body. As long as this was used, the relationship between Sarada and Karin could be found out. Taking a sample of epithelial cells from Sarada's mouth, Mizutsuki put it and the umbilical cord into the device for testing. After a while, the machine gave a comparison result, and the genes of the two were exactly the same. It seems that your mother is indeed Karin. There is no mistake about this. Looking at the results displayed on the screen, Mizutsuki said lightly, and this conclusion happened to be heard by Naruto outside the laboratory. Well, in Suigetsu's memories, Karin was quite ambiguous towards Sasuke. No matter how ambiguous it was, don't forget that Sasuke once wanted to kill Karin. How crazy must this woman be to still like him under such circumstances? Wow. Genes are the same. Does this count as evidence? No. Analyze Karin's words carefully. She said that the umbilical cord is like a part of her body. If it is like, it is not hers. I suddenly feel that Naruto's job as Hokage is not easy. Even such matters involving family ethics need him to deal with. Sasuke looked at the sky speechlessly. Why did such a trivial matter as who the mother of his child was cause so much trouble? So much trouble that more and more people got involved, especially the tail end of the opposite side who was glaring at him. If you don't understand the content, don't vent your emotions casually. Whether it is now or in the future, this guy is the same trouble. Sarada stared at the screen with a dull face, recalling what Sakura had said to her not long ago about her being in tune with Sasuke, and tears immediately flowed out. You two look alike wearing glasses. Mizuki wanted to continue expressing her thoughts, but after noticing Sarada's tears, she immediately showed a guilty expression on her face. I'll go do something else first. Walking out of the laboratory, Mizuki touched the back of her head, looked at Naruto and asked embarrassedly, did I do something I shouldn't have done? You guys, you've always only done unnecessary things. Idiots. Naruto scolded angrily, and Mizuki immediately retorted speechlessly, it's obviously Sasuke's fault. Did you know about this? How could I know? Sasuke, that bastard. Naruto looked angry, and Mizuki didn't hesitate to see this, and directly threw the mess to Naruto to deal with. He ran away after getting into trouble and let Naruto clean up his mess. What a great guy. This kind of thing is troublesome even through the sky, but who can blame Naruto for being the Hokage? What kind of image does Sasuke have in Naruto's mind? Why does he think Sasuke would do such a thing? After all, the evidence is there, especially when Naruto has only a vague understanding of these technical issues. With Sasuke's personality, the possibility of doing such a thing is small, but it is definitely not zero. It is not surprising that Naruto would be suspicious. Unable to just leave it alone like Suigetsu did, Naruto looked into the laboratory and said to Sarada carefully, well, Sarada, it's almost time to leave here, we still have to save your mother. Liar. Sarada was in a particularly bad mood, remembering that Naruto had said not long ago that her temperament was very similar to Sakura. She glared at Naruto and yelled, the 7th Hokage is a big liar. Why should I save someone who is not my mother? I don't want to care about those who have been deceiving me all the time. Looking at Sarada's Sharingan and feeling the sadness revealed in it, Naruto's voice was a little hesitant. Sarada, you. Sharingan. This made Sarada remember again that Naruto had said not long ago that she and Sasuke looked very similar, but at the moment, she was no longer happy about it. At this point, I don't want to look like that kind of person. Alice, children with bad tempers are the most difficult to deal with. Parents should all understand this. Children's tempers come and go quickly, and the more extreme they are, the easier it is to reverse them. It all depends on Naruto's eloquence. In the final analysis, in the kind of family environment, children's psychology will sooner or later have problems, especially when parents have been hiding the truth. Although I know that Sasuke is trying to maintain peace, is he really so busy that he doesn't even have time to go home to see his daughter? With his speed, it won't take much effort. Then what are you going to do? Naruto asked calmly. Sarada glanced at him with a dazed look in her eyes and said in a cold voice, what I do has nothing to do with the 7th Hokage. I want to continue my journey alone. I don't think I will return to Konoha. Thank you for your care all the time. I'm leaving. Chapter 561. Naruto grabbed Sarada's arm without thinking and stopped her. Sarada turned around impatiently and said angrily, what else is going on? You said it has nothing to do with me, right? But I can't ignore it. I often say this to Boruto. To the Hokage, the whole village is my family. The 3rd Hokage often says this. So what? It's just your words. Dad never lived in the village and didn't even know what his daughter looked like. Mom. She kept lying to me. And Sarada lowered her head with a sad face. She has no blood relationship with me. I am clear to be frank, I don't have any real family. Also, you are not me, 7th Hokage, so you can't understand my heart, and you are not my family. Sarada looks exactly like Sasuke when she yells in anger. Tisk tisk, rebellious kids are hard to deal with. They think they are mature and know everything, and they don't know how high the sky is and how deep the earth is unless they are beaten up by society. After all, they just found out that their mother and themselves are not related by blood, so it's understandable that they are a little emotional. Alice. Raising a child is really troublesome, and I even have to trouble Naruto to help teach him. Sakura sighed helplessly. She was only 13 years old, but she had already experienced the difficulty of being a mother in advance. As soon as this thought came to her mind, Sakura suddenly remembered her parents who were despised by her. Was this how they felt when facing her? Hearing this, Naruto grabbed Sarada's arm and couldn't help but think of himself sitting alone on the swing when he was young, the night when Mizuki tricked him into stealing the Book of Seals, the recognition of Iruka, the farewell between Sasuke and himself in the Valley of the End, and his belief that he would never give up. Is this the extent of your bond with your parents? Naruto said softly with a face full of nostalgia. The bond of family is not only time and blood, but also something more important. Then what else do you say? Sarada asked loudly, and Naruto answered without hesitation, feelings, as long as there's this, it is enough. That's it, you should check carefully, the feelings deep in your heart. Here it comes, Naruto's passive empathy has been triggered, and he should be convinced next. Naruto can't take his situation as for example, normal people still attach great importance to blood relations. Unless you are really heartless, after living together for so many years, even if there is really no blood relationship, you will make compromises because of feelings. Just put yourself in this situation and you will understand it. I say, do you have to analyze it so hard? Judging from the current situation, Sakura is most likely Sarada's biological mother. The situation you assume does not exist at all. After these words came out, Sarada, who was originally like a hedgehog, lowered her head with a sad face, and couldn't help but think of her childhood. The father who was never at home always said that he was busy with work and took good care of his mother. Growing up in such a family, Sarada once thought that her father didn't care about her and her mother. However, her mother, who knew her doubts, gave such an answer, Sarada, Dad has always cared about and valued us, and that's why he didn't come back. You may not understand it now, but one day you will understand. Although she didn't understand it very well, out of trust in her mother, Sarada quickly stopped her sadness in Sakura's arms, wiped away her tears and asked mischievously, then did Mom and Dad kiss? Sakura was silent for a moment, full of nostalgia but not she laughed out loud, and then, when Sarada asked, she blushed and replied, a little bit, and it made me think of something better. What are you thinking about, Mom? No, I'm not thinking. Looking at her mother who was in a hurry, Sarada asked expectantly, Mom, what's better than a kiss? Tapping Sarada's forehead, Sakura smiled happily and said, I'll tell you later. You'll understand when you meet Dad. The light touch on the forehead supported Sarada through a happy childhood, and it also became an inseparable emotional mark between her and her mother. I think Sakura is the only one who, is there something wrong with what Naruto said? Sasuke went to maintain peace, and in a sense, he did protect his family, but we can't equate the two. I don't doubt Sasuke's feelings for his family, but he obviously didn't fulfill his responsibilities as a father. Well, doesn't this just prove what Naruto said? As long as the feelings are real, nothing else matters. With this analysis, Naruto's reason is quite far-fetched. No matter how deep the feelings are, they are meaningless as long as the parties don't feel them. Tisk tisk, isn't Sakura too easy to satisfy after becoming a couple with Sasuke? She should have not seen Sasuke for a long time like Sarada, so why can she still show such a happy expression? Hey, this forward-poking action is not. The action Itachi did to Sasuke appeared many times in their memories. Well, this is something better than kissing. Suddenly I can't bear to watch the interaction between the Uchiha brothers. Is this a traditional Uchiha action? They use this to convey their feelings. It's really, Sakura, one of the parties involved, touched her forehead and laughed foolishly after seeing the action she made on the screen. Since she had seen the content related to Itachi and Sasuke, Sakura knew very well what this action meant to Sasuke. Judging from the progress on the screen, the future Sasuke had obviously done this to her. How could Sakura not be happy about it? However, as another party involved, Sasuke suddenly felt that Sakura on the screen was a bit annoying. That action was Itachi and his exclusive action, but now it appeared on Sakura. Although he knew that this was the future Sasuke expressing his love for his wife, for the current Sasuke, Sakura was just a partner who could barely be called a friend. It was not difficult to understand why Sasuke found it difficult to accept. Chapter 562. Touching her forehead, Sarada burst into tears and choked up, saying, "Mom, woo. I really can't help ignoring Mom. But we may not be able to be like before. What should I do? Real or fake, it doesn't matter. As long as your feelings of wanting to save her are real, then it's real." Pressing Sarada's shoulders, Naruto said with a firm look in his eyes, "Let's go, save your mom." The two left the snake cave. Sasuke was already waiting outside. When he saw him, Naruto immediately glared at him, pointed at him with an angry look and said, "Sasuke, I have something to tell you later." "What's the matter?" Sasuke looked puzzled, but Naruto knew that things had priorities, so he just responded by rescuing Sakura first. Sasuke will probably feel very innocent, being hated for no reason. What's innocent about that? He's already prepared for this, so he deserves it. There's no need to be so harsh. After all, he messed up his family relationship to maintain peace in the ninja world. Is Naruto busy or not as the Hokage? He's responsible for trivial matters like mediating family relationships. It seems that both conclusions can be used to explain it. Although I don't know their specific future work, with Sasuke's strength, I think his status should be high. Only Naruto can handle such a thing. It's convenient. Maybe he has been killed. Orochimaru deliberately interrupted because he was not happy with Sasuke's attitude. However, Sasuke ignored his provocation and said, "My wife is not a weak woman. Before we went to pick her up, she might have killed all the enemies. But thank you for telling me the location of that guy. My pupil power just recovered." As he said that, Sasuke activated the pupil power of his eyes and used Susanoo, preparing to fly to the target location with a group of people in one breath. Have your pupil power weakened? No wonder. Naruto finally understood why Sasuke performed so poorly in the previous battle. Sasuke was not polite to this and retorted, "It's not your turn to criticize me. What about your previous battle? Do you want to make the child uneasy next time?" "Huh. I don't want to be told that by you. Especially about making the child uneasy." "Huh, Orochimaru, why are you so rude? It's just that Sasuke lost some face for you, but you are so childish to curse him. You are one of the three ninjas. 1. If you can't defeat Sasuke in battle, then you can only ask for some benefits through words, otherwise others will think that the legendary Sannin is just a name for nothing. Doing this will only make the name of the Sannin even less valuable." Huh. Naruto thought that only Sasuke would make children feel uneasy, but he himself had the same signs. Judging from the atmosphere between Boruto and him before, the parent-child relationship in their family should not be that simple. The huge body of Susanoo soared above the clouds, and the group set out on the road to save people. Looking at Sasuke's back, Sarada recalled what he said when he talked about Sakura, and doubts and confusion filled her heart. What kind of feelings does this person have for his mother? What happened between the two of them? The woman in the photo is mine. The sadness in her heart was fully reflected on her face. Naruto noticed this and patted Sarada on the shoulder and smiled at her. Sarada suppressed all the doubts in her heart and prepared to face the next battle. At the same time, the explanation of the action concept of Lord Uchiha also came to an end. My goal is to eradicate all the genes that indulge in peace and all the genes that hinder me. So I want to revive Akatsuki and start a war in the ninja world again. You said my goal, then it seems that there is no need to worry, you have no companions. Sakura rubbed her hands, and her fighting spirit surged. In other words, as long as we defeat you, all problems will be solved. Although I heard him say it once before, I still can't hold it back when I heard it again. If we want to start a war, we can start a war. Why do we have to involve Akatsuki, especially after knowing their inside story? Is it because Uchiha has been facing his clones that he couldn't hold back and told Sakura all this? Tisk, Uchiha had just let Naruto and Sasuke suffer, but seeing Sakura so confident, I actually have the illusion that she can win. Then it depends on whether Sakura's skills have declined. The battle is about to start, although he had just completed the operation, relying on the main Gekaioi technique and insight. Lord Uchiha still burst out with strong fighting power. A large number of blades were assembled and flew around at will, and he launched a series of powerful attacks. Although the boulders and stone pillars thrown by Sakura with great force were also amazingly powerful, facing the enemy's flexible weapon attacks, Sakura, who was unarmed, inevitably fell into a disadvantage. First, her arm was hit by a blade and blocked her movement. Then the enemy's shuriken came quickly and was about to hit her directly. Fortunately, Susanoo rushed into the battlefield at this time, not only easily blocking the attack, but also grabbing him and crushing his bones before Lord Uchiha could react. Hiss. It's hard to compare whether her skills have declined, but Sakura's strength has obviously become stronger. She grabbed such a big stone pillar with her bare hands and threw it out. Although she suffered a little due to her compatibility, it is certain that her strength is stronger than before. In comparison, Naruto and Sasuke are simply embarrassing. Isn't Sasuke's poor performance due to the weakening of his pupil power? Naruto is the one with the problem. He has the title of the strongest in the ninja world, but he has no fighting power after being stabbed. Is it because he lost the goal he fought for after becoming Hokage, so his strength has declined? After destroying his opponent's ability to move, Sasuke immediately pulled out a blade on Sakura's arm and burned it with Amaterasu. Then, after confirming that Sakura was fine, he lifted Susanoo and prepared to take Uchiha back to Konoha for investigation. Chapter 563. Using the blade implanted in the severed hand, the adult Uchiha pulled the two sides apart. At the same time, he also understood that the current situation was no longer possible to carry out his plan, so he made up his mind to use the young Uchiha as bait to create a chance for himself to escape. Unexpectedly, the young Uchiha who was ordered actually attacked him in return. The adult Uchiha, who was completely unprepared, looked at the weapons that pierced his body with bloodshot eyes. He roared, What are you doing? Enough, father, you are now rotten, it's time to abandon the body. The young Uchiha said condescendingly and expressionlessly. This development is a bit unexpected. It's not that unexpected. Although all of them are Uchiha himself, because they can't be removed at will like shadow clones, and the original body regards these clones as tools, it's not surprising that they have such an end. Each individual has his own independent ideas. In this case, even if they are themselves, they will inevitably have differences. What's more, Uchiha still believes in genetic genes, so don't blame his clones for not taking him seriously. Anyway, according to him, even if he dies, it's just that the physical container is damaged. I am the original gene. Lord Uchiha face was full of reluctance, and the voice of the young Uchiha was as cold as ever. Father, your pupil power has weakened. From now on, we will further evolve. This is the most reasonable. Looking at this scene, Sakura looked as if she had expected it. She had already anticipated this development. Then, a large number of Uchiha appeared from the dark one after another. Looking at these clones of different sizes and astonishing numbers, the adult Uchiha looked unbelievable. When did develop into so many? We made them ourselves. We no longer need you, father. In such a response, the clone army attacked Naruto and his party. Is there no limit to this cloning? You can create as many people as you want? If so, if they are given more time, wouldn't they be able to create a real sea of people to flatten the entire world? Even if the people created have some unknown defects, it will be difficult to deal with them in large numbers. Not to mention that these guys all have the main Gekyo Sharingan. I'm curious, can they use Susanoo? Oh, probably, no. If they can, even if Naruto and Sasuke use all their abilities, they won't be able to win. Faced with this situation, Naruto calmly used multiple shadow clones to meet them, and Sasuke followed suit and easily dealt with several large Uchiha in the clone army. Under the current situation, we must leave now, and we must also obtain spare internal organs. The almost exhausted adult Uchiha knew that this was his last chance, so he controlled the one-eyed monster to sneak behind Sakura, preparing to move her and Sarada away together. However, this time, Sasuke, who had been keeping an eye on the overall situation, noticed his action at the first time. At Sasuke's reminder, Sarada immediately turned around and punched the one-eyed monster. The adult Uchiha died at this point. At this time, another large group of young Uchiha rushed over from another direction. Several adults were about to step forward, but saw Sarada jump up directly. Mom! I will protect you. Asshole! Relying on the Sharingan to avoid the attacking weapon, Sarada punched hard, and the ground cracked under her fist. The strong impact blasted away a large group of Uchiha around. Wow! The power of this fist! It's not much inferior to Sakura's. Combining the advantages of both sides, maybe she will be stronger than her parents when she grows up. It's no problem to surpass Sakura, but it's a bit difficult to beat Sasuke. Don't think it's worthless just because the future Samsara appears one after another. Tisk, this child hasn't graduated yet, which means she's not even a Jonin. Do her parents have such strength at this age? So amazing. Sakura scratched her cheek embarrassedly, feeling that she seemed to be a bit embarrassing as a mother. When she was Sarada's age, let alone being on par with her in strength, Sakura thought back and felt that she didn't seem to have done anything serious. Dressing up, attracting Sasuke's attention, except for her academic performance, everything else was a mess, which really made Sakura feel a bit embarrassing. Despite this, there are still a considerable number of Uchiha and Naruto's shadow clones entangled. Naruto no longer holds back. He grabs the stabbing weapon and crushes it easily. He stares at Uchiha with his red beast eyes and whispers, "Calm down, Kurama." In a trance, the ferocious face of the nine-tailed fox is reflected in Uchiha eyes. Seeing his terrified and trembling performance, Naruto whispers to comfort him, "You don't have to be afraid. As long as you don't continue to do bad things, I won't do anything. You are still as naive as before. How are you going to place them next?" Sasuke also stopped and asked. Naruto said that he would place them in a child welfare institution funded by Konoha. Sasuke immediately knew what he was talking about. Although he was a little worried, he let it go at Naruto's insistence. The Nine Tails is really cooperative, helping Naruto to scare the children. No, are we just going to let these clones go? Although they still look like children, they are clones of Uchiha after all. Aren't you afraid that they will do something again in the future? Just like Sasuke said, how can Naruto be so childish after becoming Hokage? Some decisions can't be made on a whim. Anyway, I will definitely tell Shikamaru when I go back, so that he can check and fill in the gaps. So, does this count as the reappearance of the Uchiha clan in Konoha in disguise, even though everyone is the same person? After the battle, Jojo was overjoyed at Sarada's amazing performance, and Sakura, as a mother, was only worried about it. She rushed over and hugged Sarada tightly, and then said unhappily, "I heard about the general situation from Shizune, idiot. You are my child, this is an indisputable fact. You are such a little idiot." Chapter 564. Well, I understand. These are not important anymore. As long as the feelings are real, mutual understanding is the most important thing, Sarada responded with a chuckle, and then she thought of her mother who claimed that she had a mutual understanding with her father, and asked Sasuke hesitantly, Dad, do you also think that you have a mutual understanding with Mom?" Yes, Sasuke confirmed this without hesitation, and Sarada then asked, "Why are you so sure, Dad?" "Because you are the proof that we have a mutual understanding, Sarada." Sasuke's answer made Sarada shed tears uncontrollably. Jojo was envious of this, and Naruto smiled with satisfaction and called everyone to return to Konoha together. Tisk, Sasuke can also say such sentimental words. At such an old age, his personality will naturally not be as extreme as in his youth. Besides, he has become a father. Whether he is responsible or not is another matter, but it is not surprising that he said some heartfelt words to his daughter. "I feel a little bitter inside. MD, it's just a little nice words." Suddenly I feel that it is not impossible for Sarada to forgive Sasuke. Why worry about it? I said at the beginning that this is someone else's family affair. As long as Sarada and Sakura can accept it, others have no right to say anything. You can appreciate the preciousness only by comparison. Besides, Sasuke's feelings are also very sincere. It's just that the world does not allow their family to live a normal life. In the several bungalows built in the open space, the clones of Uchiha who were brought back to Konoha by Naruto and his party were placed here, and the person responsible for their future life and education was the dean here, Kabuto Yakashi. On the other side, Didi complained about the anticlimactic journey inside about where her father had gone. Then, when she was about to enter Konoha, she saw the man talking to Ino at the gate, and her eyes lit up and she went over. "Excuse me, are you my father?" Didi asked straight to the point. The thinner Chaji turned his head and looked at her with a question mark on his face. "What are you talking about, Didi? I'm your father." "Eh? Really? Are you my father?" Didi was shocked. Seeing this, Ino smiled and said, "Yes, Didi is the first time to see Traji in this size. No wonder you are so surprised." Didi then realized that the man in front of her was the father she disliked, but at the moment her attention was attracted by Traji's secret technique that could shrink the body size, and she pestered him to say that she wanted to learn it immediately. The 3 members of Team 7 also came over at this time. Ino saw Sasuke, whom she hadn't seen for a long time, and was about to go forward to exchange a few words with a happy face, but was immediately guarded by Sarada, fearing that another third party would affect the relationship between her parents. No way, Kabuto actually returned to the orphanage in Konoha. Don't we need to deal with him? This guy is a war criminal in the 4th Ninja World War. In a sense, Sasuke's identity as a traitor is also unacceptable to the world, but he is still running around for Konoha. The severity of the two is different. Kakashi Kabuto was pardoned for doing that kind of thing, which shows how much face Naruto will have in the future. Kabuto looked at the sky and smiled. He envied this future. However, Kabuto would not pin all his hopes on Naruto's face. He would return to that home in his own way. In the end, Jojo also achieved her wish, but Traji didn't know that he almost lost his fatherhood. In this way, Sasuke and his family of 3 spent a peaceful night. After enjoying the family happiness for a short time, the next day, Sakura and Sarada came to the village entrance to see Sasuke off. When will you come back next time? Sarada looked reluctant. Sasuke raised his hand to hug her, then gently touched her forehead, and said gently, "Don't show such an expression. See you next time." Touching her forehead, Sarada turned her head shyly and looked at Sakura. Sakura responded with a smile, walked over and handed the lunchbox to Sasuke, and then put her face forward with expectation. After a moment of silence, Sasuke turned around and took a step. "Then I'm leaving." Sakura immediately lowered her head in frustration, and secretly swore in her heart, "Next time I must get it back with interest." Bastard. Is it necessary to be so anxious? We're only staying for one night. After all, this is a matter involving the destruction of the world. It's never too careful. I'm satisfied with just poking my forehead. Uchibo's way of expressing his feelings is really simple. But the little girl is very satisfied, isn't she? Is Sasuke shy? He only gave it to his daughter, not his wife. Stingy, Sakura muttered, then looked at Sarada's smiling face on the sky screen with relief, and smiled. Fortunately, Sarada fulfilled her wish, so that she wouldn't think of me as a lying mother. Compared to Sakura, who could take the perspective of a mother, Sasuke was quite awkward. There was warmth due to the interaction between himself and his daughter on the sky screen, and there was discomfort due to this scene that was not suitable for his current age. In short, the more Sasuke watched, the more uncomfortable he felt, but the more uncomfortable he felt, the more he wanted to watch, which made Itachi, who was watching him, couldn't help but curl up his lips. After seeing her father off, Sarada returned to school to complete her final studies. At this time, Boruto came over and thanked Sarada for delivering his lunchbox for him. Hearing this, Sarada was silent for a moment, then smiled and said, "I should thank you. Through this incident, I found my goal. So I should be the one to thank you, what?" Boruto looked puzzled. Sarada looked at him sideways, and said with a high-spirited face, "Although I can't deliver lunchboxes to everyone in the village, I can do other things instead, so I decided to become Hokage." Hearing this, Boruto's face immediately fell, and he responded contemptuously, Hokage, it's so boring." Hey, from Boruto's tone, it seems that the position of Hokage is not very satisfied. Interesting. Sasuke's daughter wants to become Hokage, but Naruto's son hates Hokage. Naruto was going to stand on the moral high ground and accuse Sasuke afterwards, but he didn't expect that the boomerang would hide him now. As a father, your relationship with your son is not good either. Chapter 565. Damn it. What is this brat talking about? He actually looks down on the Hokage. Naruto yelled angrily, and Sasuke seized the opportunity to taunt him. After all, he has such an unreliable father, the Hokage. Isn't it normal for him to hate the Hokage? HMPH. Your vision is as bad as this brat, not even as good as your daughter. By the way, you are not jealous, Sasuke. It seems that you can't wait to die, the last one. On the other side, Karin completed the mission and returned to the snake cave. After listening to Sujetsu's description of Sarada's situation, she immediately retorted with a stinky face, How is this possible? Sarada is Sasuke and Sakura's biological daughter. Then, that umbilical cord. It's Sarada and Sakura's. Sakura and Sasuke were traveling together before, and Sarada happened to be born in my base during the trip. It was me who gave birth to Sarada. Helped her deliver the baby. Hearing this, Sujetsu showed an embarrassed expression and quickly changed the subject. Is it true? Don't you always talk about Sasuke? Idiot, as long as Sasuke can be happy, I will be satisfied. And there is friendship between women and men. Karin responded with an open-minded look, and Sujetsu's mind was full of how to escape from here, and she casually said, really, is that true? In other words, you have completely given up your feelings for Sasuke. You really don't understand at all, there are various forms of ties between people. And Sujetsu, you bastard. Apologized to Sarada. By the way, buy her a pair of new glasses, the ones you gave her before were too small. Sarada smiled brightly, and the last picture was fixed on the photo of the family of 3 in front of her. Love, presented here. What a misunderstanding. Why keep someone else's umbilical cord as a souvenir? Karin has a really good mentality. She has completely forgotten that Sasuke once wanted to kill her. So the problem is not all with Sujetsu. Look at how guilty he is. Sujetsu, who is looking at the sky, couldn't hold it in any longer. Hey. Can you put the blame on me? Karin, if not you, who else can I blame? If you hadn't been nosy, would things have become so complicated? You are the one with a problem, perverted girl. What do you want to do by keeping someone else's mother and daughter's umbilical cord? And you say it's like a part of your own body. I can't imagine what you are planning. Sujetsu. You are looking for death? The sky darkened, and then the keywords for the next issue appeared. Start extracting keywords for the next issue. Keywords extracted based on the speeches of this issue, randomly selected, confirm, keywords for the next issue, darkness hero. It's over. Looking at the sky curtain that was silent again, Jiraiya picked up the teacup and took a sip of tea, then said to Itachi across the table, next, we will rest in this town for 2 days. Itachi, you contact the village to see if there are any new arrangements, and then we will continue on the road. Hearing this, Naruto immediately showed a reluctant expression. Seeing this, Jiraiya patted his shoulder and explained, don't show this expression, it's just a daily contact with the village. Our travel plan is likely to remain unchanged. After all, the content revealed by the sky curtain today, either we have already mastered it, or it is too far away from us, so don't worry about being affected. Okay, cheer up. You want to become a Hokage, you don't want to be compared to yourself on the sky curtain. You don't need me to say that. Naruto swept away his depressed mood, stood up and pointed at Sasuke and said, come on, Sasuke. Let's go outside the town to compete, let you experience the power of the future Hokage. Humph. I couldn't ask for it. See how I knock you down, the future Hokage. 2 days later, the 4 continued on their way. Since Jiraiya had not told them the specific information of the person they were looking for, Naruto and Sasuke could not calm down without knowing the exact target. If they could not feel the growth of their strength, they would even mistakenly think that this trip was just an ordinary trip. 7 days passed like this, and just when Naruto thought they would return empty-handed in the river country, Jiraiya led them to find their target, Orochimaru. Naruto's face changed slightly and he immediately took a defensive action. Sasuke also frowned and his body tensed slightly, to ensure that they would be able to support Itachi at a distance the moment the battle started. The dark yellow snake pupils glanced at the two, but Orochimaru ignored them, sticking out his tongue and looking at Jiraiya and Itachi wearing a mask, sneering and saying, you are very brave, Jiraiya. Bringing these people to find me, aren't you afraid that I will arrest them all? Oh, long time no see, and you threaten me as soon as you open your mouth, Orochimaru. Let's not talk about whether you can spare me from attacking Naruto and the others. The one next to me is very powerful, and it's not a problem to even knock you down in return. Jiraiya patted Itachi's shoulder and signaled. Orochimaru stared at Itachi and smiled sinisterly. Itachi. You got this conclusion by referring to the contents of the sky curtain, right? Why don't you try it now to see whether I will be defeated by you or can capture the nine-tailed imp and Sasuke under your protection? As Orochimaru said this, he made a hand seal gesture, and Jiraiya stopped him immediately. Wait. It's just a joke, don't take it so seriously. I came to you for a serious matter. Oh, Jiraiya, one of the 3 ninjas, actually came to talk to me, a rebel, About serious matters. I'm quite curious. The malice in Orochimaru's tone remained, but the movement of his hands stopped. I brought some things that you should be interested in. In exchange, I want to ask you for help with something next. Jiraiya raised the scroll in his hand and said, also, this is the order of the village, not my own decision. Although he said so, Orochimaru knew as soon as he heard it that this must have been Jiraiya's first suggestion. After all, apart from Jiraiya, there would be no one else in Konoha who would consider cooperating with him. Thinking of this, Orochimaru stared at Jiraiya for a while, then smiled maliciously and said, then follow me, I want to see what you want to do. Chapter 566. Following behind Orochimaru, Naruto looked at his back and said to Jiraiya coquettishly, what's going on, lecherous sage? Why are we looking for Orochimaru? This guy has always wanted to take Sasuke's body. You have such a big prejudice against Orochimaru, but you also cooperated well with him in the future. Jiraiya said in a relaxed tone. Naruto retorted unhappily after hearing it, how can it be the same? Who knows what will happen in the future? Don't let your guard down just because you think he is your friend. This guy is not a good person. Naruto said that's right, you must not equate me with a future vegetarian Orochimaru, Jiraiya. Orochimaru turned his head and narrowed his eyes slightly. Don't think that I will be polite to you because of our past friendship. If I am not satisfied with what you give me later, be careful that I will attack you on the spot. I have mastered a lot of good things in advance through the sky curtain. Also, Naruto-kun, not only Sasuke, but now I am also interested in you, the future savior, the child of prophecy. You are a more perfect experimental subject than Sasuke. Wow. Listen to what he said, the lecherous immortal. Or now attack him. Otherwise, it will be too late to be ambushed. The startled Naruto jumped away and pointed at Orochimaru and said loudly, but Jiraiya just shrugged his shoulders and said, Orochimaru, you are so old, don't tease children, be a little more mature. I am different from you. Age has no meaning for me who has already mastered immortality. But this child is just as stupid as you were in the past. Only idiots like you will believe the prophecy of the big toad and make it come true in the end. I just think you are jealous. Jealous of the immortal, jealous of my great image before death, jealous of me having such an excellent student. What's there to be jealous of dead things, and great? Isn't it a frog buried in the well in the sea? Stop talking nonsense. That's the literary term for writers. Looking at the two people who quarreled inexplicably, Naruto suddenly showed a confused expression and scratched his head. It seems a little different from what I thought. Itachi, who was walking at the end, saw it very clearly. The way Jiraiya and Orochimaru get along is almost exactly the same as the way Naruto and Sasuke get along. The sense of deja vu is too strong. From this point of view, Orochimaru is indeed the most suitable teacher for Sasuke, but we still have to be careful. Led by Orochimaru, the group came to a cave in the forest. Jiraiya subconsciously complained, can't you find a better environment? You guys really like this kind of dark and humid place as always. At this time, a boy with golden shawl hair came out of the cave and greeted Orochimaru respectfully, welcome back, Orochimaru my lord. Orochimaru nodded calmly, and Naruto was shocked when he saw the face of the person who came. He jumped out and shouted, you. Aren't you that? Timothy. Timothy straightened his chest and nodded at Naruto, I know you are Uzumaki Naruto. Why are you here? Did Orochimaru kidnap you? Naruto pointed at Orochimaru angrily. If he didn't have a little bit of reason, he would probably attack Orochimaru immediately. Unexpectedly, after hearing what Naruto said, Timothy was even angrier than him. He drew out the long sword from his waist and pointed it at Naruto, take back what you said. Otherwise, I will be rude to you. I don't allow anyone to slander Lord Orochimaru. What are you talking about, Timothy? It's me, Uzumaki Naruto, I'm helping you. Orochimaru. Naruto looked at a loss, but before he finished speaking, he was interrupted by Sasuke. Don't say anything, Naruto. He must have been brainwashed by Orochimaru, and he probably hasn't seen anyone similar to him. I know you, Uchiha Sasuke, who betrayed Lord Orochimaru in the sky curtain. Timothy sneered at Sasuke. Don't use your narrow-minded thinking to guess Lord Orochimaru's mind. I was not brainwashed, I just lost my memory, but even so, Lord Orochimaru has told me everything related to me, and I have also read the sky curtain related to me. So I am very grateful to you, Uzumaki Naruto, although that is not what I have experienced, but I also want to thank you for your efforts for my friend's power, but following Lord Orochimaru is my own idea, so even if it's you, I won't allow you to slander him. Sasuke sneered and said nothing more. Orochimaru on the sky has always been thinking about his body, so what's so strange about betraying him? But your friends are still waiting for you, they are still waiting for you to go back and build the utopia together. And Orochimaru is not a good guy, he must have ulterior motives to take you in. Naruto advised earnestly. Timothy clenched the sword in his hand and answered seriously, I know my friends are waiting for me, but I also know that I can't build an utopia with my current strength, so I need to learn from Lord Orochimaru, and I don't think Lord Orochimaru will have any bad thoughts about me, because the little power in my body is not worth mentioning in the eyes of the adults. Okay, let's stop talking about the past. Orochimaru stopped the conversation between the two, and then said to Timothy, Timothy, I told you, don't think of me as a good person. I took you in just to study Grayer's power. If you keep going like this, you will be devoured by others sooner or later without leaving any bones. And Jiraiya, teach your disciples how to speak. This is my territory. His luck can't always be so good. The identity of the child of prophecy is definitely not a shield, especially now that everyone knows it. It's easy to die if you say the wrong thing. Orochimaru walked into the cave and called to the people behind him, come in with me now, let me see if the things you brought, Jiraiya, can protect you. If the value is not enough, you can all stay as experimental subjects. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 567. Fire Style, Great Fireball Technique. Sasuke jumped high and spit out a huge fireball at Suigetsu. Suigetsu calmly spit out a water wall to block the attack. Mikuta. Water Style, Water Array Wall. The flame and the water wall collided and produced a large amount of water vapor that covered the venue. Sasuke seized the opportunity and used the inside of the Sharingan to quickly rush towards Suigetsu. After throwing the kunai in his hand, he found that Suigetsu in front of him was just a water clone. Haha. Uchiha's Sharingan is just like this. Watch out. Water Cannon Technique. Suigetsu appeared from behind Sasuke and pointed his right hand at Sasuke with a pistol gesture. Seeing that a water bullet was about to be fired from his fingertips, Sasuke, who had his back to him, showed a triumphant smile at this time. Chidori Style. Lightning that was not too strong radiated from Sasuke's chakra points all over his body, and the surrounding water vapor greatly increased the attack range, which confused Shuayu for a moment. When he came to his senses, he found that Sasuke's kunai was already on his neck. Shuayu saw this and directly pushed Sasuke's hand away, saying unconvinced, Tisk. You are so self-righteous and you want to stop. You don't think a broken kunai can hurt me. HMPH. No matter how hard you talk, it's useless. Although your water transformation technique can be immune to most physical attacks, it is completely restrained by lightning escape and fire escape. Unfortunately, I am best at lightning escape and fire escape. Sasuke responded in a very aggressive tone. He is far from the cold personality of the future, and he is not polite at all when he speaks. That's because I haven't shown my real ability yet, otherwise. Shuai walked to the side and picked up the kettle to replenish water, muttering to himself. After muttering a few words, Suigetsu looked at Itachi standing next to Jiraiya in the distance, and asked Sasuke beside him meaningfully, Is that your brother? What's wrong? Sasuke looked at him in confusion while drinking water. Suigetsu scratched his head and said carefully, Although I don't know what you are doing here, and I don't know how long you will stay here, but your brother had better not get close to the deepest laboratory. What's there? Up, that Uchiha Shin. That guy is not Uchiha. Sasuke's face suddenly sank. Sasuke's impression of the pervert who implanted the Sharingan in his body was quite bad. Just reminding you, actually that guy has been soaked in culture medium by Orochimaru, and the content of the last issue of the Sky Curtain was not revealed to him. Shuai mentioned casually, and then looked at Naruto and Timothy who were fighting in another field. Listening to Naruto's shouting, Shuayu sighed and asked, Has that guy always been like this? How did you become such a twisted relationship with him? Don't put me and that guy together. Sasuke glared at Shuayu fiercely, If you can't speak, I can sew your mouth shut for you. Ha! You are so arrogant, Uchiha Sasuke. You don't think I am a good-tempered person? When I was killing people, you were still playing house games in Konoha. Suai showed a murderous smile. Do you want to try it? A fighting game where you can use all means. HMPH. Don't beg for mercy later. While watching the activeness of the two pairs of young people, Jiraiya off the field discussed cooperation with Orochimaru. What? The things I gave you can only allow Sasuke to train here for 1 year. What do you think? The things you gave me are only a few samples of the Greystone and the chakra of the demon, a set of chakra armor from the Snow Country, and some research data that is almost worthless. I agreed to help Sasuke train for a year, which is enough to give you face. You don't think my time is worthless, do you? Orochimaru glanced at Jiraiya and said lightly, and you should be glad that because of the Sky Curtain, I found a better way to gain immortality than taking Sasuke's body, otherwise it would be too late now. I will tell you these words here. But 1 year is too short. Jiraiya scratched his head. My goal this time is to let Sasuke master the Mangekyou Sharingan by the end of the trip. Isn't 1 year too much of a stretch? Oh, you can rest assured about this. I am also very interested in the data of the Mangekyou. With the intelligence information given by Tsunade, I am sure that Sasuke can open the Mangekyou in 1 year. That's no problem. Jiraiya was relieved immediately. At this time, Orochimaru looked at Itachi and said temptingly, of course, if Itachi is willing to cooperate with me to match Sasuke, and as for Karin, I can spend more time on Sasuke. Just wait until their child is born and let me study it. Don't worry, I will never do destructive research. Itachi would naturally not agree to such a condition. Jiraiya looked at Orochimaru with disgust. You are still as inhuman as ever. You can say such a thing. Hunting twice, Orochimaru, who couldn't force it, didn't continue to speak. He raised his chin to signal Jiraiya to get out immediately. Seeing this, Jiraiya didn't intend to stay. He agreed with Orochimaru to take Sasuke and Itachi away in a year. By the way, do you want to compete? Jiraiya suddenly became interested and looked at Orochimaru. I will train Naruto, and you will train Sasuke. Let's see who is stronger in a year. A contest between a genius and a fool? Sure, let's compete. After making the agreement for the competition, Jiraiya took Naruto out of the snake cave and started Naruto's unique journey of training. Along the way, Naruto couldn't stop worrying, and looked back from time to time in the direction of Orochimaru's base. Don't look anymore, Itachi will take good care of Sasuke. Jiraiya said as he took out a notebook and wrote something down. Hearing this, Naruto couldn't help but say, is it really okay? Will that Orochimaru really not do anything to Sasuke? I can smell that guy's malice from a long distance away. That guy has always been like this, and he doesn't specifically target someone. Jiraiya glanced at Naruto and comforted him, don't worry, that guy is not a good person, but he has never broken his promise. Instead of worrying about Sasuke's safety, you might as well spend more time on training. I have an agreement with Orochimaru that I will let you and Sasuke compete to see who is more powerful in a year. Since you said so, lecherous sage, then okay. Although his inner worries were not reduced much, out of trust in Jiraiya, Naruto temporarily accepted this arrangement. Chapter 568. 2 months later, Naruto and Jiraiya came to the land of rivers. Unlike the leisurely 4 months of searching for Orochimaru while practicing, Naruto devoted himself to various training and tasks in these 2 months. Although he did not master new ninjutsu, the 2 months of training and tasks also firmly laid and broadened Naruto's foundation, and also greatly increased Naruto's practical experience, making his strength visible to the naked eye. And this time coming to the land of rivers was a task carefully arranged by Jiraiya for Naruto, to search for a defected Chunin who had various means and had been evading pursuit for many years. Jiraiya also asked Naruto to use the transformation technique to disguise his identity in the mission, and was not allowed to use the shadow clone for assistance, so as to increase the difficulty of the mission. On this day, Jiraiya and Naruto walked into a small town with a new look. According to the previous intelligence, the mission target was hiding in this town. It's already the 3rd town. Are you sure that the target is here, lecherous immortal? Naruto asked weakly. According to the clues, this is the right place. Jiraiya responded, then looked at Naruto who looked depressed, grabbed his collar to prevent him from falling, and said unhappily, you are so tired, but you still pretend to be strong and tell me that you are not tired. Don't I want to complete the task quickly, and I don't want to lose to Sasuke. No matter how urgent the matter is, it is necessary to take a rest. This is the simplest truth. Jiraiya taught while looking at the surrounding environment, and took Naruto to a small shop. As they sat down, the sky lit up again. Jiraiya raised his eyebrows and said, "Well, you are destined to rest. Stay well. The mission target can't escape." In the rainy country covered by heavy rain, Konan stood on the top of a tower, bathing in the rain with a faint smile, recalling the unserious look of Jiraiya who disguised himself as a big toad in the secret hut. Recalling the laughter at that time, Konan's face was full of nostalgia. However, the arrival of the uninvited guest interrupted this memory. Konan instantly restrained her smile, looked at Afehi who appeared behind her, and asked coldly, looking for something. Afehi didn't mean to greet, and asked directly, "Where did you get Nagato's body?" "Not here." As she said that, Konan turned into a flying paper butterfly and flew away, and then recondensed her body on the sea. Afehi followed closely and fell on the sea, forming a confrontation with Konan. The atmosphere is not right. It seems that these two people are going to fight. Konan is in danger, but what does Afehi want Nagato's body for? That being said, let's not talk about Nagato Samsara. The body of the Uzumaki clan alone is very valuable for research. It depends on what Afehi wants to use it for. Konan. Nagato took a deep breath. Although he had a premonition in his heart, when this scene was about to happen, Nagato's heart still felt tightened. Rinnegan. It seems that you are not going to confess where Nagato is. Afehi said coldly. Zionan's expression was solemn, and the fighting spirit could not be stopped. "I know you will come to me. I have been waiting for a long time, just to end your life. I will not show mercy just because you were my companion. Akatsuki does not allow betrayal. You know this." Faced with Afei's threat, Zionan was not moved at all. Seeing this, Afei asked in a deep voice, "I have a question. Why did you betray me? Uzumaki Naruto. For that guy, is it worth it?" Hearing this, Zionan raised his hand and said with a firm look in his eyes, "He is the light, so everyone can hold the flower of hope in their hands." Sure enough, you came for the Rinnegan. Hey. So, the Rinnegan that Afehi got after that may not be his own. Maybe he just transplanted Nagato's Rinnegan. No wonder only the left eye has the Rinnegan. It's the same as Sasuke's in the future, so Sasuke's Rinnegan was also transplanted. I suddenly think it's acceptable. After all, the Rinnegan that never appeared in the past has appeared one after another in the next few years. It's a bit wrong no matter how you think about it. Tisk, Naruto, it's because I believe in you that Konoha might be sacrificed next. You are really sinful. You can blame me like this? It's obviously Afei's fault. Humph. You betrayed me but you're still wearing this clothes. It seems that you have a lot of feelings for Akatsuki and nostalgia. Afei said sarcastically. Akatsuki is the organization founded by Yahiko. The red cloud on this dress symbolizes the war that brought blood rain to Uin. Although Akatsuki fell into your hands, this dress is our justice, not yours. Also, the Samsara eye belongs to the ninja of Uin village. It was obtained after Nagato opened his eyes. It also does not belong to you. Zionan threw a paper shuriken at Afei and shouted, "His eyes are the treasure of this country and this village." Letting the shuriken pass through his ethereal body, Afei sneered and said, There are two things you got wrong. Anyway, you are not going to survive, so it doesn't matter to tell you. I was the one who encouraged Yahiko to found Akatsuki, and I was also the one who gave Nagato the Samsara eye." Facing Zionan's shocked eyes, Afei said in a cold voice, "So I just want to get back what belongs to me. In my eyes, you are just a little girl who knows nothing, but now you are the little girl who knows where Nagato's Samsara eye is. As long as we catch you, everything will be clear. Don't underestimate the Uchiha's eye power, little girl." Konan quickly calmed down, spread her wings and rushed towards Afei with a lot of paper. Seeing that she was going to use the gap of her materialization to attack, Afei took advantage of the situation and launched the main Gekaioi technique at the moment when Konan was about to hide him, but when he was about to suck her into the different space, he found that there were a lot of detonating tags mixed in the surrounding paper, and the explosion occurred suddenly. Well, is Afei's words just to mess with Konan's mentality, or is it really true? The establishment of Akatsuki may be related to him, but the Samsara eye should have nothing to do with him. If the Samsara eye was originally his, then why did he put the Samsara eye on Nagato? Isn't it better to use it himself? Chapter 569. It depends on what identity Afe is using to say this. Don't forget that he is walking in the ninja world under the identity of Uchiha Madara. If this place still represents Uchiha Madara, maybe the samsara I was given to Nagato by Uchiha Madara. Yes, when the second generation Tsuchikage resurrected Uchiha Madara through the impure world reincarnation, didn't Uchiha Madara mention Nagato's name? Maybe Nagato's samsara I is really Uchiha Madara's, because he died so it was given to Nagato first. So, Nagato became a pawn of Uchiha Madara when he was very young, and he didn't even know it. It's a bit scary. A conspiracy that has been laid out for decades. What exactly do Uchiha Madara and Afe want to do? This pair of samsara eyes is Uchiha Madara's. Akatsuki was created under Afe's instigation. Nagato widened his eyes and touched his eyeballs in disbelief. Is this why he has always felt something is wrong? What does Uchiha Madara want to do? Why me? I am his pawn. Nagato lowered his head and muttered with lifeless eyes. Everything in his past was calculated by others? Then what is his hard work? What is the struggle all along? What is the sacrifice of his companions? Thinking of this, Nagato suddenly came back to his senses and showed a firm look. No. Maybe my life is just a conspiracy of others, but the concept of peace is definitely not false. This is the most important thing that Chihiko and Jiraiya left me. The establishment of Akatsuki is based on this, so it will definitely not belong to Fei. Quickly calming down, Nagato sneered and touched his eyes. As for this pair of eyes, if I don't know, it's fine, but since I already know that this is Uchiha Madara put it on me, no matter what his purpose is, I have no reason to return the original. When I remove the back end here, you will regret your calculations in the Pure Land, Uchiha Madara. At this time, Konan rushed over and looked at Nagato with a worried face, but found that his emotions were much calmer than expected. Nagato, you. Konan was a little confused, and Nagato responded calmly, don't worry, Konan, I'm fine. Nagato touched his eyes again. No matter whether this pair of reincarnation eyes is mine, the initiative is in our hands now, right? The scary thing is the enemy hidden in the dark, and the conspiracy that has been exposed is not enough to become an obstacle to peace. In the Third Shinobi World War, even if it was not the main warring country, Yuan was always shrouded in the shadow of war. In a stronghold, the original group of Akatsuki were all injured, and the atmosphere was heavy as they discussed the territory that was gradually lost due to the sacrifice of their companions. Nagato, with a bandage on his face, took the initiative to ask Ying to deal with this problem, but Chihiko rejected his proposal without thinking, and bluntly said that he would solve it alone. Watching Chihiko walk out of the base and bathe in the rain, Konan's eyes were filled with worry. She followed behind Chihiko and reminded him to be careful. To this, Chihiko responded in a relaxed tone, no need to send me off. Go check on Nagato's injuries. He is the core of Akatsuki, the man who will change this country and even the world in the future. You should focus on him in the future. Hearing this, Konan said seriously, actually, you are the same. Everyone gathers together because of admiration for you, and Nagato is no exception. Nagato is the bridge to peace. Chihiko looked into the distance with a firm look in his eyes, and my mission is to become the pillar supporting this bridge. With a belief of saving the country, Chihiko set off without hesitation with his injured body. At this time, Nagato walked out of the base with the remaining companions. Looking at Chihiko's back, Nagato bluntly stated that Chihiko was the bridge of peace. Then, at his call, everyone ignored their physical injuries and chased after Chihiko without hesitation. Could the Akatsuki that a group of people fight for really be what Fei said he founded? Just now he said Akatsuki was his, but the samsara I was not his. Now it seems that the situation is reversed. If the guess is correct, the samsara I is not his either, it should be Uchiha Madara's. Perhaps the original Akatsuki had nothing to do with Fei, but what if he hid in the dark and guided Akatsuki to develop in the direction he wanted? In a sense, it's okay to say that he founded it. After all, the later Akatsuki and the original Akatsuki do have different philosophies. It's incredible that such an organization appeared in such a chaotic time. If it hadn't changed, it would probably not have survived until now. Chihiko and Nagato, let me be the pillar that supports your two bridges. Along with Konan's firm voice, the violent explosion caused by the detonating tag gradually subsided, and Afe was seen half kneeling on the sea in embarrassment. His right arm was blown off, and the right half of his mask was also damaged. I underestimated you. After all, You are also a veteran of Akatsuki. Although he looked very embarrassed, Afei's breathing was very stable. He said in a calm voice, "You wanted to die with me by self-destructing at the moment I absorbed it, but unfortunately you failed. My movements were faster. The entire explosion was absorbed by me, and your life was saved. Thank me." In contrast, Konan was breathing rapidly and panting. After finally calming down her breathing, Afei asked contemptuously, "Next, what other means do you have? Banara, let me ask you, do you know why we betrayed you and why we chose to believe in Naruto?" Konan said while brewing an offensive, but Afei no longer had the interest to explore. "It doesn't matter. That's your problem. You want to believe that kid who pursues childish ideals is your freedom." Ignoring Afei's words, Xiaonan said to herself, "After meeting Naruto, I realized one thing. You are darkness. In a world without light, flowers can only wither. What a pity. It was just a little bit short, otherwise I would have known Afei's true face." Xiaonan's strength is not weak, and she actually wants to die together with Afei in the battle. The main reason is that the hollowing move is too tricky. If you don't lure Afei to attack first, you can't do it at all. After all, not everyone has the speed of the fourth Hokage, who can protect himself while attacking others. Chapter 570. Amid Xianan's shouts, Afei looked at the cracked sea under his feet in shock. He saw a bottomless gully that seemed to extend to the sky. Afei, who had no time to react, fell directly into it. As his body fell freely, Afei looked around and found that the sea before was actually disguised by a large number of paper pieces. What was even more incredible was that these paper pieces were actually detonating talismans. In such a spectacular scene, Afei, who felt bad, tried to escape with a kaleidoscope pupil technique, but was easily interrupted by Xiaonan, who had been prepared. "It seems that your time and space movement failed. It was not in vain that I stayed with you for so long. When you absorb yourself, your body will inevitably materialize, and the speed is slower than when you absorb other things. And the time you can penetrate matter is about 5 minutes, so in order to kill you, I prepared 600 billion detonating talismans, enough for 10 minutes of uninterrupted explosions." Xiaonan's face was gloomy, and his voice was full of coldness. Then, without giving Afei any time to react, he launched a full-scale offensive. Puff. Cough cough cough. How many? How many detonating talismans did she say? Oh my god. 600 billion. This amount. It's more than enough to flatten a ninja village. No. This amount is too exaggerated. Are there so many detonating talismans on the market now? Of course not. 100 million pieces are enough to cover the entire market now, and even far more. Don't forget Konan's paper ninjutsu. Most of these detonating talismans should be made by her. In addition, she has been preparing for who knows how many years. It is normal to have such a number. Bullshit. No, okay, I can't accept this amount. No wonder the price of detonating talismans has remained high in recent years. It must be because Xiaonan is secretly buying them. Anyway, she can't reach this amount by herself. I don't know if Xiaonan's move is the most powerful ninjutsu in the ninja world, but it is definitely the most valuable move in the ninja world. It's just throwing money at people. Rich woman. Super rich woman. With this money, it's not difficult to want peace. It's no problem to hire the 5 major countries to make Nagato a famous name in the ninja world. Kakuzu, who is looking for a job in the black market, was dumbfounded. Detonating talisman. All the money I earned turned into detonating talisman. Thinking of this, Kakuzu almost exploded. No wonder there was a link in Akatsuki's plan to make money. At that time, Kakuzu was a little surprised when he heard this arrangement, but out of his enthusiasm for making money, Kakuzu took over the financial power of Akatsuki without thinking much. But now, all the money he earned was used by that prodigal woman, Konan, to buy detonating tags. And the purpose was to deal with his own people. How could Kakuzu not be angry about this? Good. Finally, we have revealed some information about Afei's hollow. It can only last for 5 minutes. He needs to materialize when he wants to transfer himself, and he must materialize when he attacks. In the future, we will not be like a headless fly when we meet him. Although we know this, there are very few people in the ninja world who can really take advantage of these weaknesses. Without the speed and reaction of the 4th Hokage, we can't grasp the moment of his materialization. If the attack is not persistent enough, it is also difficult to take advantage of the weakness of the 5-minute hollow, Looking at Afehi, who is always in the explosion range, Konan remembered what he said just now, and hated in his heart. Yohiko and Nagato act according to their own will. They are not your pawns. No matter what the form is, they have fought for their dreams to the end. Because of this, their will has been inherited. I will never let you hinder them. With the determination to die, Konan almost exhausted his chakra to maintain the explosion for a full 10 minutes, and then he knelt on the sea, panting and muttering, "The god of paper technique has been lifted. I didn't expect it would consume so much chakra. In this way, Madara must be dead." Afei appeared behind Konan silently, and the black stick in his hand pierced through Konan's abdomen without mercy. Well, because it is a continuous attack, the power is much smaller than I thought. Money. All the explosions are money. Just thinking about this is enough to shock people. Hiss. Although I knew that Afei won from the beginning, how could he be unscathed after 600 billion detonating talismans were thrown down? Could it be that Konan's information was wrong, and Afei had dodged when the explosion just started? Why? You should be dead for sure. I will demonstrate it. You have done it many times. Following this process, I should be able to defeat you. Xiaoyan said intermittently, looking at the black stick that pierced through her with disbelief eyes. Energy. The forbidden technique of Uchiha that connects illusion and reality at the cost of losing light. Uchiha and Senju. Only those who possess these two powers at the same time can use this eye technique. Afei slowly closed his left eye. It was obvious that he used this move to avoid Xiaoyan's fatal move Uchiha and Senju. Both abilities? That is the power of the six paths. How can you have? As my former companion, I will reveal a little information about my technique and myself to you. Afei sneered and explained, Izanagi is the creation technique of the six paths sage. The original Uchiha and Senju were one. As the ancestor, the six paths sage created everything. The power of yin escape, which is derived from the spiritual energy that controls imagination, creates form from nothing, and the power of yang escape, which is derived from the physical energy that controls life, gives life to form. The tailed beasts are one of them. The six-path sage used the power of yin and yang escape to create the nine-tailed beasts from the chakra of the 10 tails, the art of concretizing imagination and giving life to it is Izanagi. Ahem. What did Konan say? This trick has been demonstrated many times, damn it. Why do I feel that Yugakure is much richer than the 5 great nations? Did they find a gold mine? Calm down. Although it is a demonstration, it is impossible to use 600 billion detonating tags every time. The scale must be greatly reduced, otherwise Afei would have known it long ago. It turned out that Izanagi was able to avoid Konan's attack. It requires the power of both Uchiha and Senju to use. Can it still be called Uchiha's forbidden technique? Chapter 571. If that's the case, how did Danzo use Izanagi? Sharingan can be transplanted, but how to get the power of Senju? You should ask Orochimaru about this. How can we understand such scientific and technological things? From what Afei said, is it possible that the creation myth of the six-path sage is true? Connecting fantasy and reality, this description sounds incredible, and now it is said that the six-path sage created the world with this trick. I can't accept it. What is the 10 tails? Aren't there only 9-tailed beasts? Isn't Afei's statement clear enough? The 10 tails is a combination of the 9-tailed beasts, and the tailed beasts were actually created by the six-path sage. So, what Nagato said before, capturing the forbidden weapon made by the tailed beasts, could it be the 10 tails? No wonder it is said that it can destroy a country in an instant. It seems normal for the 10 tails, which is stronger than the 9 tails, to behave like this. 10 tails. Nagato muttered the word softly. At this time, he finally saw a corner of Afei's plan. Is this the truth that Afei concealed? After the 9-tailed beasts combine, they will become the 10 tails. Afei must have a way to control the 10 tails in his hands. If it weren't for Shyamaru, according to this situation, even if we really captured all the tailed beasts, we would only be helping Afei in the end. Konan's expression was a little solemn. Fortunately, they now knew Afei's conspiracy in advance, so they would not be fooled and become Afei's pawns. But in this way, my peace plan has become a mirage, which is really ridiculous. Nagato sighed with emotion. Although Nagato had been prepared, it would be a lie to say that he didn't feel regretful when his efforts really went to waste. Konan naturally saw this clearly and looked at Nagato and asked, what should we do next? Should we return the 6 tails and the 7 tails in the outer path demon statue to the 5 major ninja villages, and the imprisoned 2 tails Jinchuriki? No. I won't return the 6 tails and the 7 tails, and the 2 tails Jinchuriki must be returned to Kumagakure after reaching certain agreements. Nagato refused without thinking, and then continued, although I believe Naruto will not give up the dream of peace, it would be foolish to pin all hopes on him. We in Yugakure must have our own power, and it's our turn. The Bakai and the tailed beasts are the bargaining chips that make the 5 great nations treat us equally, so we must not lose them. Who are you? Konan asked weakly, and Ifehi kept his disguise and answered in the tone of Uchiha Madara. Everyone knows that Uchiha Madara lost to Senju Hashirama, but is it really so? The so-called winner is the one who looks to the future, and the previous battles were just to gain his abilities. I am Uchiha Madara who has obtained the abilities of Senju Hashirama, and I am the second 6 paths. As he said this, Ifehi thought of the Sharingan in Danzo's hand, and laughed contemptuously, haha, although there are some rats who show incomplete Isaiah because they control the power of Hashirama Nagi. At this time, Konan struggled to break away from Ifehi's weapon and staggered away from them. Ifehi didn't care about this and said coldly, you should be able to see Nagato soon. You too can go to that world and regret listening to Naruto's stupid words. There is no peace or hope in this world. Nagato just wants to comfort his sad self by believing in Naruto. Things are getting more and more confusing. Did Uchiha Madara survive the battle in the Valley of the End? If Nagato's Samsara eye is really Uchiha Madara's, it means that he survived the battle. Of course, he must have died later, otherwise he would not have been summoned by the impure world reincarnation. Can the combination of Senju and Uchiha give us the power of the 6 paths? If we had known this earlier, maybe there would be a few more Samsara eyes in the ninja world. It's definitely not that just any Senju and Uchiha can do it. There are also some people who are not so good at these 2 clans. Besides, the power of the 6 paths is not that cheap. Didn't Afe give Danzo as an example? He also got the power of Senju and Uchiha, but he died at the hands of Sasuke. Just when Konan was about to fall, the heavy rain stopped without warning. Afe looked at the sky that was clearing up quickly with doubt. Konan suddenly remembered the will of Yahiko and Nagato, and her spirit was instantly lifted. Yahiko and Nagato. Their will will not perish, and I believe in Naruto. This time, he will definitely become a bridge to peace. And I will become the pillar that supports him. Under the colorful rainbow light, Zayanin turned to face Ifehi, raised her hands and threw a lot of paper. Thank you, Nagato. Even if you leave, you still let me see hope. A paper ring spun quickly on the palm of her hand, and Zayanin shouted fearlessly, it doesn't matter if I wither, I will save you here. Unfortunately, before Zayanin's attack was launched, Ifehi rushed over and grabbed her neck, and said in a cold voice, you said I am darkness. Then I will fulfill your wish and let you wither. Then, let this rainbow bridge shining with colorful light also be buried in the darkness. Your life will end with this illusion, but you have to wait until you tell me where the Samsara eye is. With a face full of reluctance, Konan lowered her hands and slowly closed her eyes. Well, although the rain in the Hidden Rain village is frequent, it has not stopped before. Are these 2 people so surprised? They even put the blame on Nagato for this change. It's mainly because the timing was too coincidental. Konan was about to give up, but suddenly this happened and she regained her fighting spirit. It's the nature of life to desire miracles and beauty, so it's no wonder that Konan thinks this is Nagato's doing. After all, he is the god of the Hidden Rain village. It's a pity that he was defeated by Ifehi in the end. No wonder the keyword is darkness. Don't forget that hero is also a keyword. They entrusted everything to Naruto. After an unknown amount of time, Afe came to a dome-shaped building and took away Nagato's body, leaving only Yahiko's body lying quietly in a bed of white paper flowers. Chapter 572. On the sea outside the Hidden Rain village, the dead Konan lies flat on the surface of the sea, and a piece of blood-stained paper on her neck flies up into the sky and drifts far away. The scene turns back to the past again. In the secret hut, Yahiko, Nagato, and Konan, who are also wearing toad coats, kneel on the ground and listen to Jiraiya explaining the functions of the 3 frog boards, flip boards, in front of them. When in the base, flip the frog board to the red front, and when going out, flip it to the white back. This action can determine whether the person in the house is disguised by the enemy, or confirm whether the companions have been kidnapped in the base. In addition to the secret rooms and secret passages arranged in advance, all measures are only to ensure the safety of several people. For this reason, Jiraiya set an example and placed his own frog board. Although I don't know where Konan hid Nagato's body, the safest way is to destroy the Samsara directly. Otherwise, even if there is no Afei, sooner or later there will be other people who covet the Samsara to find him. That being said, it is not allowed emotionally, especially since Konan thought that the Samsara belonged to Nagato before. How could she take the initiative to destroy Nagato's body? So now it is basically certain that the Samsara of Uchiha Madara, Afei and Nagato is actually the same person. As for whether Sasuke is an exception, it remains to be discussed. Puff. Ha ha ha, the atmosphere was quite solemn. What's going on with the content of the sky curtain now? Why did they deliberately change pretending to be a toad? What kind of bad taste does Jiraiya have? Let's not talk about Jiraiya's hobbies for now. Although the frog body arranged is simple, it is quite practical, very dedicated. Jiraiya is a teacher. He is an orphan in the war zone, but he really puts his heart and soul into it. After all, the Samsara is right in front of him, and it is related to his life prophecy, so he can't be careless. In this way, the days passed one by one. Although no accidents happened during the period, the few people also strictly followed Jiraiya's instructions and turned over the frog board on the wall again and again when they went out or came back. The three did not change this habit until Jiraiya left. The three grew up quickly in constant training and fighting. The older Yahiko and Konan also fell in love with each other in their long-term companionship and made clear their feelings for each other. Against this background, the Akatsuki organization was successfully established and continued to grow. Then finally came the day when the three had to change their base. The organization has grown, and we have to find a new hiding place. The three people with backpacks stood in the house and said goodbye. Yahiko stared at everything in the house and said seriously, we change and grow here. Everything starts from here. We start from here for our dreams. In the future. Konan turned her frog board over. Just as Yahiko and Nagato were about to turn it over, a group of enemies ambushed outside suddenly attacked. However, when they rushed into the house, the three had successfully escaped from here through the secret passage. From then on, the three embarked on a new life path. We start from here for our dreams. In the future. If the dream comes true, even if everyone is scattered, one day we must come back here. Then the three of them celebrate together. When the time comes, we will also call Jiraiya-sensei, of course. Yeah, definitely. As the three voices narrated, a square of paper stained with blood fell from the sky, covering the frog board that Konan had flipped over when she left. Opposite the frog boards of the three, Jiraiya's frog board was also flipped over by the wildly growing vines. Yahiko and Konan are together, but it's a pity that they don't have a happy ending. Love during wartime is destined to be only an embellishment. There are too many unhappy people in this world. In the last scene, the four of them return to the hut. This development is a bit unexpected. Why does it look a bit mysterious? That red-dyed paper flew all the way here and just happened to cover Konan's frog board? This is actually the effect of some kind of ninjutsu. Whether it's intentional or coincidental, I'm quite satisfied with this ending. If it weren't for the bad relationship with Konoha, I might have shed a few tears. In the end, everyone returned there. Konan's eyes were watery, and she lowered her head to wipe away the tears from the corners of her eyes. Nagato exhaled deeply. Since Yahiko's death, Nagato thought that returning to that hut the promise they made could never be fulfilled, but now Shianmu seemed to have fulfilled it in another form. Jiraiya, who was also looking at Shianmu, sighed. The ending of the three students made him inevitably sad, and he was even more moved by the promise they made in that hut. Perhaps in the next journey, he can go back there to take a look and have a long-lost face-to-face communication with the two students. A short story ends here, and Shianmu enters the next story. Summoning technique. Afei in a black robe summoned the Nine Tails in Konoha, causing a great commotion. In an instant, a large number of houses collapsed and countless villagers were killed and injured. As the fourth-generation Hokage, Minato Namikaze, after settling his weak wife and newborn child, put on a shadow robe and came to the Hokage Rock alone, facing the huge-tailed beast ball launched by the Nine Tails. What is a ninja? I once asked this question. A ninja is someone who can endure. My master once told me this. Accompanied by Naruto's voiceover, the scene shifted to a forest, and all the members of Akatsuki appeared on a huge dead tree. Why is it the content of the Nine Tails Rebellion again? The scene jumped to another place. This story should be related to the Nine Tails Rebellion. Wow. All the members of Akatsuki are out. What are they trying to do? What are they doing? Can't help but want to flatten the ninja world. Am I the only one who wants to complain about their positioning? Why is Uchiha Itachi standing at the top and in the middle? It makes him seem like the leader of Akatsuki. No wonder Uchiha Shin, who worships Itachi, keeps talking about reviving Akatsuki. It turns out that this is the truth. Uchiha Itachi, you are the mastermind behind everything. Chapter 573. It's consistent with the report, absolutely correct. It's Akatsuki, hiding in the dark of the forest. Kakashi was concentrating and came to the conclusion after careful observation. Sakura was very puzzled and asked with a serious look, "What's going on? Why is there even the guy we killed?" We'll discuss the reason later. There are 8 enemies in total, and each of them has extremely troublesome abilities. Although we already know their specific information, Shikamaru was about to give orders through the headset, but suddenly heard Naruto shouting Rasengan. Looking at Naruto, who was fighting with the enemy all of a sudden, Sakura covered her forehead with a headache. What is he doing? He is obviously a ninja, but he doesn't know how to be patient. Well, but he also succeeded as a bait. Shikamaru. Kakashi was not surprised at all, and Shikamaru instantly regained his composure. Group battles are not good for us. The best strategy is to defeat the enemies one by one. So, what time is this? Sakura's words reveal a lot of content. I thought it was all Akatsuki members, but since Shikamaru said that he knew the enemy's intelligence very well, it means that they have encountered everyone before. It seems that there is something special here. Is someone pretending to be a member of Akatsuki planning something? Or is this something that Akatsuki did themselves? I didn't see a face and the black and white face. Could it be them who did it? Tisk, since he has come into contact with all the members of Akatsuki, why is Naruto still so disobedient? Hasn't he grown at all? I haven't heard anyone mention this about Naruto for a long time. Ninjas are people who know how to be patient. Jiraiya said this to Maku. Naruto. Where did the mature Naruto go after talking with Nagato? It turns out that it was just a limited time state. There is no need to worry about him. Didn't you see that Kakashi has completely gotten used to it? He can even use this to increase the success rate of the mission. Shikamaru's order was passed down, so Naruto, who was fighting hard with the enemy, was grabbed by Choji's giant hand and taken away from the battlefield. Then Choji joined the battle with the attack of a meat bomb tank at the same time. Other partners also took action. Shino controlled the insect swarm to cover Tendao, restricting his movements while blinding the opponent's vision. Then Kiba and Akamaru cooperated with a fierce attack to easily knock him down. Niji, Rock Lee, Tenten and Hinata, these physical ninjas also found their opponents one by one. Relying on the fierce physical offensive, they suppressed all the enemies in a short time. After being scolded by Ino, Naruto moved to the position he was responsible for. When passing a cliff, he saw several buildings on the opposite mountain wall. Over there, I remember, the training cave used by the lecherous sage and my father when they practiced. How, you can tell these people are fake after just 2 glances. They were beaten by Konoha without any chance to fight back. What's the point of this disguise? Anyway, I can't use the disguised person's ninjutsu. Why not just attack with my original appearance? Perhaps this is what the person behind the scenes wants to see. By disguising as members of Akatsuki, they attracted a large number of Konoha's combat forces at once. Maybe they want to take the opportunity to do something in Konoha, the training cave, the place where Jiraiya and the 4th Hokage practiced. Maybe we can go and see it. Does anyone know where it is? This kind of place must be under Konoha's control. How could they let outsiders in? The training cave, it turns out there is such a place. Lecherous Immortal, why don't we go there and take a look next? I also want to try the training that my father received. Naruto said to Jiraiya with interest, but after hearing what Naruto said, Jiraiya frowned and shook his head, with a strange expression. We shouldn't be able to go there. Ignoring Naruto, who was pestering to ask for clarification, Jiraiya remembered the topic he had discussed with Tsunade and Orochimaru before, and thought to himself, what kind of training cave is this? I have never been to such a place. Like the previous Abiruko, does this place also exist in a parallel world? Minato in the belly of the god of death had the same idea, but because no one could discuss it with him, he could only temporarily bury this guess in his heart and focus on the story of the Sky Curtain. After Naruto rushed to Sakura's side, he was scolded again. At this time, Kakashi had completely controlled Scorpion with a ninja dog, and after Deidara launched an attack, he easily blocked it with the earth flow wall. Sai cooperated and used the Super Beast false painting to counterattack Deidara. After the opponent easily disintegrated the offensive, Naruto couldn't help but want to attack, but he was stopped because the hand stretched out from the ground grabbed his feet. Then Sai cut off the hand holding Naruto. The strange thing was that the cross-section of the broken hand turned out to be a massive squirming white matter. I don't know if they received any signal. At this time, the 8 people of Akatsuki stopped and sank into the ground and left the battlefield. Although they didn't defeat any enemy, they were able to repel Akatsuki, and the group couldn't help but cheer. Only Kakashi and Shikamaru noticed something wrong and looked at a broken hand on the ground thoughtfully. Why does Naruto suddenly seem childish? He screamed and yelled just because his foot was grabbed by a hand that came out of the ground. Is that necessary? It seems that my observation is correct. Naruto's temperament fluctuates with the number of companions around him. The fewer companions he has, the more mature and reliable he appears. On the contrary, his emotions become quite unstable, causing all kinds of troubles for others to help him clean up. Someone is so bored that they can observe such information. By the way, Shikamaru, didn't they know everything about the enemy? So they should know that they were just knocking out a bunch of fakes. How could those little brats in Konoha be so happy? Although it wasn't the real person, it's probably related to Akatsuki, so it can be considered as knocking Akatsuki out. What's with the severed hand? It doesn't look like a human hand. What on earth is the enemy on the other side? The group returned to Konoha, and Kakashi went to the Hokage's office alone to report the situation to Tsunade. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 574. Even after describing the situation in full, Tsunade and Kakashi still couldn't figure out what was going on, so they could only use conventional methods to deal with it, strengthen vigilance, and conduct research on the severed hand they brought back. On the other side, the young people who participated in the mission were greeted by their parents. Each of them was proud of their children's achievements from the bottom of their hearts, and they agreed to jointly recommend them to the Hokage to become Jonin. Among the group, only Naruto stood there alone. After hearing about the Jonin's recommendation, he couldn't help but want to interrupt and join their discussion. However, everyone was immersed in their own joy, and no one noticed Naruto's intention at all. At this time, Sakura's mother suddenly talked about Sakura's shortcomings to show her modesty. Her father followed suit and teased her. Sakura, who felt embarrassed, was very angry and quarreled with her mother directly, and even choked Naruto, who wanted to mediate. After this farce, Naruto and Sai left together. On the way, Naruto asked with envy, "It seems that they all have parents as recommenders. What about you?" "I belong to the root, and the promotion system is different from yours." Sai replied with a smile. Unlike Naruto, he was not affected at all. Are these parents too strict with their children? They just fought off a bunch of fakes. Explain the situation to me. Tisk, these adults are not doing it on purpose. They are simply hurting Naruto's heart, talking about recommending Jonin in front of him. Naruto looks so pitiful, he doesn't even know what identity he should have to join the discussion. Assholes. Pay attention, this is the son of the 4th Hokage, the hero of Konoha, Uzumaki Naruto. All of you adults, jointly recommend him to be a Jonin. These Jonin of a big ninja clan are really too much? Don't worry, Naruto, I will help you apply to the Hokage now. Become a Jonin. Enough of you Naruto fans. He is only 13 years old now, what kind of Jonin is he? Besides, Jiraiya is still alive, it is not your turn to worry about these things. Other parents are fine, but Sakura's parents are teasing a bit too much? Although I know they are being modest, they should at least take care of the child's face, not to mention a 15 or 16-year-old girl. Tisk, even with such a parent-child relationship, Naruto is very envious. Sakura also saw the thoughts of the parents on the sky screen, but as the barrage said, she also wanted to save face. Anyone would feel angry if she was belittled in front of her friends. Fortunately, since reading the story of Sarada looking for her father, Sakura also knows that being a parent is not easy, so she can consider the problem from the perspective of parents and not lose her temper because of it. At this time, Sonji's weak emotional characteristics actually helped him, and he would not be as sad as Naruto. Only Naruto was hurt in the world. The two separated on the way, and Naruto walked home alone. Looking at the happy families and children laughing with their parents everywhere on the street, Naruto felt depressed and couldn't help but think of Minato and Kushina. As night fell, Naruto returned to his empty home. Although he wanted to dispel his loneliness by shouting "I'm back" as a ritual of going home, the dirty and messy environment in the house obviously couldn't bring Naruto the warmth of his family. Just as Naruto sighed and prepared to accept this reality, he suddenly had an idea and thought of someone. The scene changed to Chiriko Ramen. Iruka, who was invited by Naruto, sat down and asked curiously, "Is there something you want to ask me to come out for?" "Teacher Iruka," I said, "can you recommend me to be a jonin?" Sitting next to Iruka, Naruto scratched his head with hope on his face, but said embarrassedly, "Because my classmates are recommended by their parents, so I..." "No, I refuse," Iruka answered decisively without hesitation. "I have already met Kushina, which means that the time point here is after Naruto has mastered the power of the Nine Tails. Do you feel more lonely after meeting your parents? But that's right. No matter how fast he grows up, he is just a 16-year-old boy after all. The more you care, the more you will be affected by the surrounding environment. In this case, he can only wait until he figures it out. After all, no one can replace the feelings his parents give him." "Naruto, I'm sorry." Minato felt guilty again and again, but he could only apologize to Naruto in vain. In the Pure Land, Kushina was left with nothing but heartache and sadness. She looked so strong when communicating with her chakra, but when she was alone, she always showed such a lonely look. How could she not be moved as a mother? It has to be Iruka. Naruto himself admitted that he is like a father. Wow. Look at Naruto's expectant eyes. "Iruka, why don't you think about it more? Don't refuse directly, eh? Why?" Naruto immediately showed a disappointed expression, and Iruka pointed out the problem loudly, "Because you have to become a Chunin first. Even if you defeated pain and saved the village, and everyone called you the hero of Konoha, you cannot get special treatment. Your father, the fourth Hokage, was the same. He went through the stages of Junin, Chunin, and Jonin before becoming Hokage and a hero. Then it was engraved on the Shadow Rock." Naruto said in a very aggressive tone, turned his head away from Iruka in a bad mood, and then said self-deprecatingly, "Rocks don't say welcome home. You." Iruka was slightly stunned, and then saw Naruto muttering with a wronged face, "Sometimes I would think so too, if he was not a hero on the Shadow Rock, but a real person who could welcome me home." Iruka's parents are also unable to stand Naruto's self-pitying look. Iruka interrupted his complaints with a loud shout, and then calmed down and asked Naruto what happened, but Naruto, who was not in a good mood, had no intention of communicating with him at all. At this time, the hand-beating uncle brought up the ramen for the two. Naruto took the opportunity to seize the fact that there was only bamboo shoots in the bowl, but no Naruto rolls, and got angry. After quarreling with Iruka, Naruto lifted the door curtain and ran away, leaving Iruka alone to clean up the mess. Chapter 575. Puff. Ho. I thought Iruka rejected Naruto for some reason, but it turns out it's because he's still a Junin. Are you kidding me? Naruto at this time has already mastered the power of the Nine Tails, but he's still a Junin. Could it be that he didn't take the Chunin exam? I'm not saying anything bad about you, Naruto. Although it's pitiful that others have parents who recommend you but you don't, you can't ask to be promoted directly from Junin to Jonin. Being a Jonin is not something that can be achieved just by being strong. Although Iruka's words are a bit unpleasant to hear, they are all the simplest truths. The problem is that what Naruto wants now is not truth, but feelings. The recommendation of a Jonin is just a formality. It's obvious that he only wants "I want to feel the warmth of my family." This is rare. This is the first time I've seen Naruto in such a low mood. It turns out that the more you care, the more easily you are affected by your surroundings. He's so strong in front of his parents, but he complains in private. But that's okay. If he's always positive, I'll doubt whether Naruto is a normal person or whether he's really brainwashed by Konoha. Naruto walked down the street with a bored look on his face. When he passed by Sakura's house, he happened to hear her quarrel with her mother. After a while, Sakura came downstairs angrily. Then, Regardless of whether Naruto agreed or not, she grabbed him and said she would go on a date with him. However, judging from the way she pulled Naruto's ear, it seemed more like she was using Naruto as a punching bag. The two came to the park. Naruto sat on the swing and listened to Sakura's complaints and even disgust about her parents. He couldn't help but feel a little angry. He frowned and interrupted Sakura's scolding. However, Sakura, who was already angry, could not tolerate any opposition from others. She pushed Naruto's position to the opposite side, and when Naruto wanted to defend himself, she said bluntly, "Really, why are you in front of me? If it was Sasuke, he would definitely understand me." To be honest, Sakura is really willful, and only Naruto can stand her temper. This is probably why Sakura thinks Naruto is his most important friend. She can vent her emotions to him without any scruples. From this point of view, their relationship is even closer than the relationship between Sasuke and Sakura as a couple. Well, it's okay to complain, but it's not good to say that about your parents. Sakura herself felt that those words were too much, not to mention her parents heard them, and they even inexplicably brought up Sasuke. How confused must she be to talk nonsense like that? No. I have to go home and apologize to my parents right away. Damn it. Why do I have to take the blame for my future self? Before Naruto could figure out the meaning of these words, a spell suddenly appeared on his ankle, and then he saw a face sitting on a stone pier in the park, and he greeted him calmly, "Long time no see, Uzumaki Naruto. It's you, Madara." Naruto reacted instantly, and the Shadow Clone plus the Rasengan directly hit the opponent, and then it went through a phase body as expected. Sakura followed closely behind, and chopped down heavily like a battle axe, blasting a big hole in the ground, but it was also useless against a Fae who had the ability to hollow. Although it's a little different from what I expected, it doesn't matter. Standing calmly in front of the two, a Fae threw a crystal ball into the air. The crystal ball emitted a dazzling light under the moonlight. Not long after, the light dissipated and a Fae's figure disappeared. Tisk, this is the nth time. Is Konoha's defense really just for show? No way, a Fae's ability is difficult to deal with. The virtualization allows him to ignore the protective barrier directly, and coupled with his space-time ninjutsu, there is really no place in the ninja world that he cannot enter. The spell on Naruto's foot was planted by that hand in the previous attack. The event planned by Fae, is the target Naruto? I don't know what he wants to do. Why do I feel that this scene is a bit familiar, that of Fae holding a crystal ball? I remember that there was a daily story in the previous issue of Shiamu. Did a Fae in that story hold a crystal ball and say that he was going to activate a limited moon reading? I also remember that at the end of that story, didn't all the members of Akatsuki appear? It seems that this should be the sequel of that story. After so many things, I want to see what kind of ninjutsu this limited moon reading is. From the name, if we analyze it simply, since Tsukuyomi is an illusion, then limited Tsukuyomi should also be an illusion, probably just with different applications. Although they don't know what a Fae did, they didn't feel attacked, so after they found out that they had lost a Fae's trace, Naruto and Sakura hurriedly left to inform others of what happened here. They happened to meet the three members of Team 8 passing by outside the park. Konoha and Naruto greeted each other, and Sakura quickly explained the situation. Something is wrong, Madara just appeared here, unexpectedly. The three of them showed confused expressions after hearing Sakura's words. Seeing their strange reaction, Naruto frowned and asked, "Are you listening?" "I'm listening." "By the way, what is that Madara? Pattern?" Yura nonchalantly scratched his ears, and Naruto, who thought he was playing dumb, immediately started yelling. Seeing Naruto so excited, Yura was about to respond, but a camera bit yes but without any warning. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.